let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
5005 Rockside, Cleveland.
92.3 The Fan, 2020 Sports.
This 2020 Sports is powered by Summit Sound. Don't let the cold weather ruin your game day experience. Get a remote starter from Summit Sound starting at $419 installed. SummitSound.net. The Cleveland Cavaliers snapping the Pelicans' 5-game win streak last night in the 141-118 win. The return of Sam Merrill to the lineup had an immediate effect on the wine and gold. Merrill, who Kenny Atkinson described as the connector, put up 22 in only his second game back on the floor with 7 assists. It may have been the paint play that hurled the Cavs to a win, 72 points down low, normally averaging just 49. Cleveland looking to take these last 2 home wins into New York on Christmas Day in the Garden at 12. The Cleveland Browns will not see DK Metcalf on Sunday when they take on the Steelers. The wide receiver officially out the last 2 games of the season after a physical altercation with a fan in Detroit. The suspension being upheld, Metcalf will forfeit over $500,000 of his salary and $45 million of future guaranteed money. For the Browns, Deshaun Watson won't see the field during the final 2 games either. The org deciding to let the quarterback's practice window close and not activate him off the PUP list. Adam Schefter reported earlier this month that the Browns are planning to have Watson on their roster next season, and his practice window was open to give him his first practices this season, so he wouldn't be away from football until the spring. Listen to the Fan Rewind weeknights 11 p.m. to midnight, all of the best segments from all of our shows, and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News continues every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Mackenzie Flume.
The Afternoon Drive.
I think Andrew Barry has been setting this all up to be like, yeah, I love him. I gave Kevin every opportunity to save his job. I think Andrew's going to give Kevin the treatment that Kevin's trying to give to Bubba Ventrone. Keep him around long enough so he can be the fall guy for this disaster.
So an interesting twist within all this, though, was the idea that this actually gives more fire to these Stefanski supporters out there. It's turned into a, wait a second, how come the architect of all this doesn't get any of the blame, but the guy trying to put out all these fires is the one that ends up getting canned?
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2.
After reviewing the play,
We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
I would say with all positions, but certainly the quarterback position, we spend a lot of time together. So we're in meetings. We talk about every scenario known to man. I get to see the work that our guys put into it. I get to see the work that Shedeur puts into his craft on a daily basis in meetings on the field. So that's where the trust comes from player to player. That's where trust comes from player to coach, just that we're working at it together. So that's, I think, the biggest thing.
I think everything applies. It's trusting your eyes, trusting what you see, trusting how you've been prepared, trusting your coaching, trusting the skills that you developed over the weeks. I think it's all in one. I have to do my part and, get some wins. I think I have to do my part and play clean football, and the rest isn't in my hands. That's really all it is. It's not, I don't own the organization, so I can't promise anything will happen. I'm not God. I can't dictate what's going to happen each and every day, each and every minute. You just got to enjoy what you do have.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
And away we go. Merry Christmas Eve. It's the Christmas Eve edition of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, with no Ken Carman or Anthony Lima, but Owen is in the house.
Yeah, I woke up for this. Excited.
Couldn't miss it. Wouldn't miss it for the world. It's Daryl Ruiter, Coach Lance Reisland with you. We'll be with you till 10. Thanks to Shedeur Sanders for clearing up that he is 1, not God, 2, not the owner of the Cleveland Browns. But he does have his own film crew. So we got that all patched up. Apparently, I'm the only one dressed for Christmas. I'm wearing my my annual Clark Griswold hockey sweater.
I had the hat on earlier this week on the show. I should have worn the hat today.
See, I thought for sure you'd wear like the antlers or something.
I had the hat with the lights on it. It was good. I didn't have that. I messed up this morning. You
can watch us on YouTube Live right now, I understand. Just go to the 92.3 The Fan channel there on YouTube. So if you have nothing else better to watch this morning, you can watch us. So It doesn't really get any better than that. But Lance, happy holidays. Good to spend the next 4 hours with you.
Absolutely. Happy holidays to you. Great to be here with you guys. I'm looking forward to this.
I guess we jump right in. By the way, Cavs won last night. Hallelujah. That's back-to-back wins for them. The earth did not stop spinning on its axis. I don't know if the Bunsen burner on Kenny Atkinson's seat has been turned down at all. We'll talk about that. Coming up, college football playoff is this weekend. I know you've got some thoughts, not just on the Ohio State Buckeyes and what awaits them with the Miami Hurricanes and their strong, stout defensive front, but this we are in December when it comes to the Browns, and it's like the good old days. They are 3-12. And we are bracing for impact, and that impact come January, whether it's January 4th or 5th or 6th, whenever they decide to do things, is potential changes that they could make, and whether or not Kevin Stefanski can save his job in the final couple of weeks here. You heard Shedeur there in the open talk about how he has to do his part, which, by the way, that was a great answer when he was asked about whether or not he feels like the Browns have any commitment for him next year. And he's like, well, I kind of got to do my part to give them reason for that. And he said winning games. And we might have to hit the pause button. No, Shedeur, we want you to play well. Maybe winning games, not the best thing, although maybe for him, because it takes him out of the range for a quarterback in the top 5 of the draft if he wins.
Well, the problem for me is that when you start talking about I want to play well, or I got to play or do my part, and you're not talking about winning, that's kind of where the Browns organization is for me. I've always believed winning has got to be the most important thing. And for some reason, like when I'm breaking down plays, I'm thinking about this is a good play, this is a bad play. All quarterbacks do those things, but we're talking about, is he the quarterback of the future? And that's the problem with the Browns right now, is that we're not talking about winning or schemes or how they attack people. They've kind of led themselves to this, but that's where we're at. And I think he's got to do his part, and I think he's done some good things. But I also think there's room for improvement. And I'm not an extremist. I don't to say he's the guy or to say he can't be the guy. I'm not there. I think he's earning some right to get some more reps, and that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I mean it's a step-by-step process here. This is how they did it when Dylan Gabriel suffered the concussion. They kind of slow walked it. Shedeur showed a little something against the Ravens. They had a chance to win, but didn't. Played well in Las Vegas in his first start, which he won. Hasn't won since, and it's been uneven. Now, you're not allowed to criticize Shedeur. You know, the Shedeur fans don't want to hear any criticism. This guy walks on water and can do no wrong. But he has done some wrong. He's not perfect, and that's why we can't sit here and say that, when they're in position potentially to have 3 of the top 33 picks in next April's draft, they can just spend that all on supporting cast for him. You know, we have to have the conversation, honestly, about quarterback and what they need. And before you could even have that conversation, you have to know who your coach is, and they have to look themselves in the mirror and decide, is it going to be Kevin Stefanski going forward? And it's one of two things. If it's going to be Kevin, then you have to give Kevin the type of quarterback he really wants. Because I think that's one of the major problems, aside from the fact he's had 13 of these dudes in 6 years, and you've not really been able to build around anyone. You've tried to talk yourself into building around Deshaun Watson, but he just hasn't been around to build around enough, either because of his own off-the-field alleged behavior or the fact that he can't stay healthy. But then, once you decide Kevin's your guy, then you have to decide, well, is Shedeur Sanders the type of quarterback that Kevin Stefanski wants to coach? And I don't know the answer to that, but I'm leaning towards probably not. Because he just doesn't seem to, whatever it is Kevin likes in his quarterback, I don't know that Shedeur Sanders is it. Deshaun Watson wasn't it, I don't believe. So, this is always seems to be the problem with the Browns is even when they have alignment, they don't have alignment, and they can't figure out the alignment, or they talk themselves into the alignment, and then they force moves to fit the alignment, which the alignment doesn't align with the alignment. And it's just this vicious cycle, and that's why we're sitting here now, 2 straight years of a 3-win football team, And we have to tangibly ask the question, does Kevin Stefanski keep his job? Of course, I'm the one throwing out there, if Kevin doesn't get to keep his job, neither should Andrew Berry. Because if you've been telling us for 5 years these guys are joined at the hip, they're thought partners and all this type of stuff, Lance, I don't know how now 6 years in you can say, nope, we got Andrew in this corner, we got Kevin in this corner, we're gonna get rid of Kevin now. They're really not joined at the hip. That, to me, organizationally, makes zero sense to me.
Well, the alignment thing has always been my issue. I always thought they were aligned through the good and the bad, mostly bad, but they were aligned and they were on the same team. Now you're starting to see them separate, which for me tells me somebody's going to go. And I'm with you. To steal your thing, the groceries, they don't have a lot on offense. So if you're going to decide if you're going to evaluate a quarterback, you better start from the inside out. This offensive line is really, really poor right now. They don't pass protect. They don't run the ball very well. It's hard to evaluate a quarterback when it's run, pass, or if it's second and long all the time. Last week he took that checkdowns. I like that. It gave him 2nd and 5. They got in a little bit better rhythm. I don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation. I always thought for what Kevin does, the early down boots, waggles, throwing launch points, Baker was the guy. For some reason that didn't work out. Now I'll be first one to say I thought Dylan was a good quarterback, and I still do, for the fact that he matched what Kevin does. The boots on the first down, throwing from different launch points, kind of hid his height.
Throwing 2-yard passes?
Yeah, well, if you throw 2-yard passes, but when they're there, it's like not throwing the ball downfield. If you throw the ball downfield and it's not, they're not giving it to you, that's silly too, in my opinion. So he just did, when he took the passes, he took those short ones, but he's got to take the long ones when they're there. That's what Shador's got to kind of work opposite, right? He always wants to take the long one. Last week he checked it down a little bit. We can get into that later, but the quarterback situation all comes down to alignment. They're not aligned. And when you hear Kevin say, I'm not sure, he didn't even know Flacco was traded, it seemed like, with you guys. Those kind of things, that alignment issue as a head coach, if you take it to the high school level, you got to be, everybody's got to be aligned. Administration, the principals, the teachers. If you're not, you get a mess, especially when things go bad. It's easy to hide things when you're winning. The Browns right now, everything's exposed because you're losing. And for me, the alignment is the major issue. Everything we're talking about, quarterbacks, offensive line, evaluation, they're not aligned right now. Until that happens, nothing's going to work.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't just wheel the car into the garage, put it on the rack, do a quick alignment, and you're in and out in 20 minutes. That's just not how this works.
Did you think Dylan was a good pick for him? Do you think that? I thought he matched Kevin's offense perfectly.
Well, we know Kevin liked Dylan Gabriel, which makes me question his evaluation ability when it comes to quarterbacks. I wanted to stab myself in my eyes with a fork watching Dylan Gabriel try to play quarterback. Like, I never want to see him again. I'm good.
We're not eye to eye on that one, but that's okay.
He's a wonderful kid. Too short, can't see, can't throw it more than 2 yards. Like, I don't want to watch Charlie check down. I want to watch the modern NFL. I want to watch Patrick Mahomes style offense. I want to watch a Josh Allen style offense. I want to watch a Joe Burrow style offense. Where they throw the ball more than 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Now, part of the issue is not a lot to work there. And I think that, to your point, what you're talking about with Shador, like, he keeps talking about trust and the time on task needed to develop that trust, and not just trust in the players, but trust in himself, in what he's seeing, what he's reading, who's really open. Can I jam it into this tight window? Because that's what the great quarterbacks do. We talk about great throws all the time, but I think even you have to admit this. There are times where we say great throw, it really was a bad throw. The receiver just made an unbelievable play, and we're like, oh, yeah, great throw by the quarterback. Put it where only the receiver could get it. And no, the receiver made a phenomenal play. The Browns have no receivers that can make any plays, that can make the quarterback look elevated. And both of these guys were set up to fail offensively this year. Like, let's be honest about it. Offensive line in shambles. You're going to have a tough time. Any quarterback, let alone two rookies, you're going to struggle with that. And then when you just basically have very little talent in your wide receiver room, you get what you ask for. And, well, I think the Browns got exactly what they asked for this year.
Well, the balance here, the quarterbacks you mentioned, those are the very few guys you can win because of. And I don't know if you can go out there and get a guy you can win with, especially early on. There are a few guys.
You know how many teams in the National Football League, though, Coach, find some mysterious
some guy
way
you can
of
win
doing
with.
that?
Some guys you can win with, but but they have the better supporting cast, right? So if you're talking Mahomes and Allen, those guys can uplift or make their guys around them better. If you got a guy you can win with, which is the majority of quarterbacks, you better surround them with good players, and that's where the Browns offensively are struggling. So if you're evaluating a quarterback right now, it's probably going to be a quarterback you win with.
I mean, Phillip Rivers is old enough to be my grandpa, and he looks serviceable Monday night.
Well, once again, though, pieces around. You got better pieces, right?
I know. I'm just saying.
So that's where I think they have to think. Are they thinking they're going to get a quarterback they win because of? I'm not sure. I don't think he's out there in the draft this year for sure. If he is, maybe. But for me, it's you better go get some pieces. You better get some offensive linemen. You better get a tackle. You better get a guy who can run with the ball after he catches it. You better do some things because your evaluation of the quarterback is going to be the same if he's on his butt. Right. It's always going to be the same.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the position they put themselves in, though, is, well, this is what you gave him to work with. Now, I will say that the offense has looked better with Shedeur running it than Dylan Gabriel. And you being the film guy, I don't know that they're doing things all that differently with Shedeur than they were trying to do with Dylan. Dylan's screen pass would go to the first row, where Shedeur's would be caught and run 66 yards for a touchdown. Same play, completely different results. So, you know what I mean? Like, and that's, I think, one of the criticisms with Kevin. Like, he has his offense, he has his way of doing things. Has he really tailored and run everything for these quarterbacks? No, I don't think he has. But he's had 13 different guys. You can't really build an offense when you've just got a merry-go-round at that position. And, well, hello, that's usually what the Cleveland Browns have.
Yeah, and it goes back to when they had Deshaun Watson. I thought when he went out and got Dorsey, he was trying to maximize Deshaun Watson's ability. The problem is with that is that it's not what you install, it's what you can fix as a coach. And when he had Watson at quarterback, that's why they even looked worse than they do now, because their inability, he can't fix it. Because if you don't know, if you're running an offense you don't understand, you don't know the nuances of how to fix it. So for me, it was when he brought in Dorsey, I kind of respected that. When he brought in Vrabel, these guys, I respected that. Like, we're going to do everything we can to win. Unfortunately, you can only do so much. And if Kevin's your guy, I'm with you. In fact, that you got to get a guy that he likes and that can run his offense. Because we only know what we know. And more importantly, you only know what you can fix. And right now, they can't do either because of their personnel. The snowball has kind of rolled down the hill, and they're struggling, and they're going to have somebody's going to fall for this, but I don't think it necessarily should be Kevin.
Yeah, the Browns got to figure out who their guy is. Big shock, and it's not just the quarterback either. They got to figure out who their guys are in a variety of roles within the organization. We know one who isn't going to be their guy here in the rest of 2025, and they got to figure out if he will be in 2026. We'll talk about that next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland in for Ken Carman and Anthony Lima with you till 10 here on The Fan.
Great furniture under one roof. Oh, yeah.
77 north from Gent to East 9th, and 176 north from Spring Road to West 14th. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
We will not activate Deshaun, so he will go back to reserve PUP. But really proud of the progress that he's making, doing a really nice job in the meeting room, on the field these last few weeks.
That was Kevin Stefanski telling us something we already knew. Deshaun Watson's season is over. They are not activating him. He will go back to making Instagram videos and whatever else.
That might have been the perfect cap to the season, though. Bring Deshaun into the mayhem, which is the Browns season.
Well, Daryl, you seem like you're 0% shocked that he's not activated.
I can confirm 0% shocked.
Before the season, also thought I would be 0% shocked today. As the season went on, it's like I'm about 25% shocked that he didn't come back. Just the way things
I still
went.
think he's the best quarterback in the room right now.
Quarterback-wise, actual quarterback ability.
Between the lines.
I agree with that.
But I think there's other things, but in terms of throwing the football, these guys aren't close to him throwing the football.
No, this is true. I don't know if he can run for his life anymore the way he used to.
Yeah, the wheels are not what they used to be.
He hasn't played a full season since 2020, 2021, something like that. It's been a long time since
2020.
Since 2020,
the
right?
year nobody was in the stands. Yeah.
You know what? The days and the years, they just like blend together for me now. The older I get, it's really hard to keep track of that. The days and the years now. I will walk into a room to do something, get something, look for something, and then instantaneously have no idea what I'm doing. And then go back to doing what I was doing previously.
Welcome, my friend, welcome.
And then be like, oh, that's what it was. Or I'll be sitting in my recliner and be like, okay, I want to change channel. Where's the remote? Remote's in my hand, but I'm looking everywhere for the remote. Yeah, I've reached that stage of life. It is humorous, one, but very unnerving and unsettling. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's for me. It's the stuff that hurts that shouldn't hurt.
Have you seen my glasses? I can't find my glasses anywhere.
They're right there on your eyebrow.
Right there. Okay, all right. But yeah, so no Deshaun Watson, no surprise there. Listen, I was surprised that he even was able to practice this year. Just because of the rupturing the Achilles not once but twice and having to have it put back together twice, the fact that he was even able to get himself to a point where he could practice, I thought was an achievement. But also at the same time, I think, let's be honest about it, Coach, Deshaun could have messed some things up. Like, is it worth putting his long-term health on the line in any of the final two games versus giving Shedeur Sanders those snaps? I would say they get more value out of giving Shedeur Sanders those snaps rather than risking Deshaun being out there, after practice in just a couple of weeks, coming back from double ruptures, the same Achilles.
Well, I would like to, we don't know his full health, obviously, but if he was healthy, I think he could have been in the mix. Kind of tells you that they've kind of bailed on the season, which I'm always against. I'll say this forever. If winning's not the most important thing, don't talk to me about culture, because if your culture is not winning, then everything you say is nonsense. So if he was healthy and could play, I would argue he still would be one of the better quarterbacks in the room, if not the best. However, if you want to get a look at Shedeur and that's your job, then you're evaluating, which I'm all about. We got to evaluate the guys we have, but then again, great teams or team organizations that are sound, we're not evaluating, we're trying to win games, and that's where the Browns have to get to. How that happens, I don't know, but that's where we're at right now.
I got to ask you, because we heard in the sound that Owen played coming back from the break there, and this might be coach speak, but I want to get your thoughts on this. Kevin's always talking about the meeting rooms, how great guys are in the meeting rooms. Is that coach speak, or is there something to that?
No, that's there's a lot of coach speak in there, So here's what he's saying is that when he's in meetings, he understands when you're on the board. Deshaun can go up there and draw. One of the things coaches like to do is they'll have them draw the plays on the board, or they'll go on a play, they'll put it up on the screen, and they'll say, "What do you see here? What coverage do you see here pre-snap? What do you see in post-snap?" And it really kind of refers to how fast are they answering, how confident in their answers.
Because I kind of feel like the Browns should have hand out a trophy, best player in the meeting room award.
Well, and it kind of gives you an umbrella, like he's being helpful to others. I would be willing.
Him or Dylan Gabriel. Those are your finalists. Owen, rank them. Best players in the Browns meeting rooms. Here. There we go. Here we go. Best players in the Browns meeting rooms. Owen, go ahead.
Well, it's got to be Dylan Gabriel, number one. He's the
human supercomputer.
The supercomputer, you got to put him number one. Deshaun's probably number two. And then they brought him back for a reason. Bailey Zappi, he's got to be number three, right?
Okay, Coach, you ready? Here we go. I need you to rank best Browns in the meeting room. Go.
I'm gonna go to Deshaun Watson because he's a veteran. I'm gonna go supercomputer. No, I'm gonna go Bailey Zappi. They brought him in. They kept him
over the supercomputer
because he hasn't done it yet.
He didn't. How many rosters now? Right.
But yeah, there's a plethora of information.
Coach, the supercomputer's your guy.
But well, the supercomputer did not at this point, even though I think it's early. Once again, I think it's early. It did not compute to the field.
Needs a RAM upgrade.
And he needs an upgrade, but Bailey Zappi's here for a reason, so he's probably sitting in the front seat in the meeting room.
All right, I'm going to go supercomputer numero uno. That is why he was drafted third. You saw it for those 5 starts. Okay, you didn't see much in the 5 stars, but he's number 1. Number 2 in the meeting with Deshaun, right? I mean, because they're getting $46 million out of the guy. He better be good in the meeting room. And then, you know what? I have to go Bailey Zappi over Shedeur Sanders number 3.
Nobody said Shedeur.
I know. And you know what? I am sure the YouTube chat is blowing up right now.
Well, that's the problem. The guy who might not be the best in the quarterback room is probably the best option on the football field right now.
Scary thought, but that's the reality.
Those things don't. You kind of need them to blend a little bit, right?
I love every time.
Great team on paper, though. Great team on paper.
Every time Kevin.
Meeting room is hellacious.
Yes.
The meeting room is hellacious. Everybody is on point in the meeting room.
Sim and everything.
I've seen some behind the scenes of various meeting rooms around the National Football League, and none of it's for air. That's all I'm gonna say. None of it's for air. So. But every time Kevin brings up the meeting rooms, it takes every ounce of my being not to just start rolling my eyes in front of him because I can't take it seriously. And I understand that that's important. I do understand the preparation stuff is important. You got to know the offense. You got to know your checks and all that, check with me's and protections and all. I get it. But the only thing I care about are those 4 quarters every Sunday. And all I know is I don't care how good these guys are in the meeting room. They suck on the field.
Well, the bottom line
is
you got to
translate.
you got to be good. I mean, to say somebody, it is coach talk a little bit because those guys are all good in the meeting room. This is what they do for a living. They get up in the morning. We're here. We're doing our stuff. They're there studying film, doing stuff. They're all good in the meeting room. It's a product-based league, and everybody can be good at processing information. I think Dylan Gabriel's much better than most. In fact, I'm on the mountain alone with him right now, and that's okay.
Yeah,
because I like Shedeur too.
You're a lone wolf on that.
That's fine, and I proudly was staying there. But I like Shedeur too. But the bottom line is they got to win games, and that's what it really comes down to. It's not a process-based league. It's not a meeting-based league. This is a win or get out league.
Wasn't there some analytical metric that said Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are like the 2 worst quarterbacks in the NFL or something?
Well, then that's once again just like the PFF stuff. There's a place for PFF, but in terms of evaluating people, I'm not huge on that.
I'm what I see with my 4 eyes.
Shedeur has had more impact. There's no question, especially him stretching the field. But the bottom line is they're not winning games, and that until that changes, it doesn't matter whatever else happens. They got to win games.
Not only are they not winning games, they can barely score 20 points. They've only done that 5 times this year. So it was 17 points on Sunday, and I'm sitting there thinking, do they even score again? Because 17 points is the Great Wall of China to them, as far as trying to get around or get over whatever. That was just the 5th time this year. By the way, in a league that's designed for you to be able to move the ball and score points with ease because all the rules are tilted to favor your offense, and these guys can barely scratch 17, let alone 20. So, and it's very boring to watch. When I want to watch entertaining football, I don't watch the Cleveland Browns. I will watch any other team in the league, but the Cleveland Browns. They just, for whatever reason, find a way to make this the absolute hardest, or make it look like it's the absolute hardest thing to do, and it just blows my mind. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm just kind of I've reached the indifference with Kevin. I don't have I have no agenda when it comes to Andrew and Kevin. I've said it a million times. As men, love them both. I think they're both outstanding human beings. But from a football standpoint, I'm yeah, whatever. I can't fight for them. I can't defend the indefensible. I can justify moving on from them. I can justify keeping them. But I will say this, is the losses have mounted. It's made it very hard for me to talk myself into keeping either one of them.
Well, I would say this is Kevin didn't get dumb, and I've had some backlash on that, but he didn't get dumb. What's happening is his message isn't getting through, and if he's your guy, then he can only do it with good players. He can only do it with these certain players. Then go out and get him those players. If you've decided he's your coach, go out and get those players. That's the problem I have more with Andrew Berry than I have with Kevin Stefanski. Now, he's had some issues on offense, and he hasn't, like in 21, he was so good in the red zone. They're terrible in the red zone now. Obviously, Nick Chubb kind of hit a lot of those things in terms of the run game, but he did not get dumb. He has his scheme. He hasn't diverted from his scheme. They've kind of made him change his scheme. So if that's the case, then get rid of him and get a guy that you want to run the scheme. Because like when you go back to the 20 points, for me, that's a little misleading because they have such a good defense. They haven't been able to score when they need to. If you have to win 14-7, but you got to go get a touchdown, they can't do it. And because that's the problem is that they don't play complementary football. They don't play well on special teams. Offensively, they turn the ball over. Everybody talks about the defense giving up points. The defense can only take so many body shots. This is a complementary game. This offense has been a part of making this defense not as dominant as it can be. This defense could have been legendary type defense if they had an offense that was adequate, a special teams that was adequate. That's killed them all year. They got to figure this out as a whole. And for me, it's more on the people on the field than it is the coaches. Coaches are involved, but this is a player-driven league and a player-driven sport.
Congratulations to the Browns for wasting what could have been, as you put it, a legendary defense. Mm-hmm. At least with Shedeur, I feel like in that down by a couple of points, need to go win the game, he gives you a chance. Now, he's probably going to make a rookie mistake that costs them the opportunity to capitalize on that chance, and we have seen that. But he at least, I feel like, gives you a chance. Dylan, no chance. Like, Dylan, they may not even get a first down. With Shedeur, they might get a couple of first downs and tease me. They're still probably not going to come back and win it, but he's at least going to give me a shot. Deshaun, I have no idea what Deshaun's going to have in the tank. We'll find out, I guess, next year during the offseason program and training camp, and I can't wait for that. Are we going to do the redemption arc for Deshaun next year? Is that good? And I think ultimately that's going to get decided by what they do in the draft, because if they draft the quarterback with the number 2 or 3 pick, wherever it is they end up, Shedeur's done. He has no future here other than being a backup. And then, Deshaun, clearly we already know he is done. 216-474-0092. If you want to hop on board, see a couple of guys, hang tight. We'll get to you. It is the most meaningless, not only the most wonderful time of the year, but the most meaningless time of the year. I'll explain that next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland, in for the boys, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, minus Ken, minus Lima, till 10 on the Fan.
Hey, Cleveland, it's Nick Wilson here with some big news. Verizon, America's best 5.
numbers. Behind every statistic is a person who needed someone to stand up and fight or to lend a helping hand. Hurt in a car? Call KNR.
There's only one place for a full recap of practice in Berea. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. 92.3 The Fan.
Back with you on The Fan. It's the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, Christmas Eve edition. Happy holidays to all of you. If you're getting in that last-minute Christmas shopping.
How about you? Are you done?
Oh, done.
Yeah, okay.
I procrastinated until like last week. I knocked everything out on Saturday.
All right, well done.
I waited till the last minute, but I did not wait till Christmas Eve. I was tempted to.
Working on Christmas Eve was actually a blessing on that stuff, because normally this is the day where we might have the shopping done, but that wrapping is happening very drunkenly tonight usually. And because I worked this morning, I know I'm going to be tired tonight. We actually did it this weekend.
Oh, you took care of it early.
Oh, we're
well
way
done.
ahead right now.
Nice.
I think I got like a straggler package that came in yesterday. So it's not going to look great, but you know.
So part of the reason I was motivated not to procrastinate was because I was working the double today. I knew I was going to be busy. In the morning show, as soon as this is over, I'm out to Berea. Coordinators talking 10:45. Got to knock out the brownie bites, and then I got to pop on the afternoon show. Like, I'm not going to have any time to do any Christmas shopping today. So, yeah, I made sure on Saturday that I just knocked it out. The wrapping's all done. I actually enjoy wrapping presents, by the way. I know, like, a lot of guys don't enjoy. I actually find it to be semi-therapeutic for some reason.
Well, first, go ahead.
I don't mind it. My wife hates that I do it because I'm very meticulous in it.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I remodeled a house by myself, well, with YouTube. Like, we did a lot of stuff together. And now I'm wrapping, taking every edge is crisp, right? Everything's sharp.
Yeah, you fold
My
it.
wife just throws it on there, puts some tape on it, calls it good. She's like, what's taking you so long? She does 15 in the time I do 2. I don't really care, though. It looks good, right? That's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't always cut the paper in the straight line, so I fold it over so it's real nice and clean edge. And my favorite thing to do, though, is when I match the paper. Like when you fold it and you're putting the tape, and when you like
seamless line.
Yeah, you get the seamless effect. I'm like, oh, jackpot right here. Like I just don't mind wrapping presents. It doesn't bother me. I know some folks get annoyed by it, but I don't know. Maybe that I can turn that like into some sort of side hustle or something. Hey, I'll wrap your presents for you. Santa Daryl, hard at work.
My father-in-law, he measures everything out. You guys are talking about shopping. I'm the husband that goes, when my daughter, when she sees stuff, I'm like, that's awesome. I got to give all the credit to my wife. She handles all the Christmas stuff.
Oh, I definitely do that.
And then
I was in on that. Don't worry about that.
You like that, didn't you? And then my daughter now, she's at the age where things that I get from my wife, she wraps. So I'm in good shape right now.
Yeah, you're setting pretty right now.
Your version of shopping. Here, honey, here's the credit card.
Correct. Yes. Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Well, you're teaching her responsibility.
Absolutely.
Too,
She's got to handle it.
Come on.
Absolutely.
It's stepping up as a father right now.
She knows how to play the game, too.
Right.
She knows how to get the things she needs, for sure.
Yeah.
So to all you procrastinators out there, all you late Santa shoppers,
go now.
I wish you well with not only hitting up the stores, but also too that they have it in stock, whatever it is you're trying to get. That's most important too. That's another reason why you don't procrastinate, because I have run into that situation in previous years where like, a couple of days, I'll go to the store. And then you go and what you want to buy is not in stock, or you go on Amazon and you're like, it's not there. It's out of stock. So I wish you all well.
There's nothing worse than the settle gift. The settle gift is not good.
Good luck with the wrapping tonight. I recommend some brown liquor to go with it and help it to go.
Possible IPA. Wrapping IPA.
We've had this conversation on the you and I have not, Lance, but I know Owen has been. I'm not a big beer drinker.
Okay.
I like my hard liquor. It goes down smoother, number one, and then number two, beer just makes me not feel all that great. just kind of get that old bloated feeling.
Daryl, I don't discriminate. Whatever you got, let's go.
That's right. Not afraid. It's a yes. What do you like?
Yeah.
Yes. I like
Let's
yes.
do it.
Well, what was your beverage of choice of the Guardians this year?
I have preferred things right now. I like a Frank August small batch, but I'm good
Seasonal.
with it. I mean, you could show up with a Red Dog or an Ice House, and we're doing that as well.
You're going Ice House. Way to go
come
back
on.
there. A little Ice
I will
House.
do Molson Triple X. Let's do it all.
Oh,
It's
yes.
Christmas Eve. We're trying to get things accomplished.
Well, Ice House. That's a great call.
Can I take you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
Wouldn't be the first time, Daryl.
Oh, don't worry. At some point, we will be ranking the Christmas movies at some point this morning.
Daryl,
Not right now, but
I'll tell you some Thailand stories off the air.
Okay, look forward to that. It is the most wonderful time of year, though. It's also now become the most meaningless time of the year. Pro Bowls have been announced. Congratulations to Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, very deserving. I kind of think Joel Bitonio would have been nice to see him get his 8th. He didn't, but the positive is the fact that 3 rookies, Lance, were named alternates, but the fact that they got the recognition, Harold Fannin, Carson Schlesinger, and Quinshawn Judkins, the fact that those guys were recognized, positive, but the Pro Bowl's become a joke. Like, let's be honest about it. They're in San Francisco for the Super Bowl, right? They
correct.
They don't even play a game anymore. They do dodgeball and obstacle courses. Like Myles Garrett got jacked up one year doing that nonsense. It's become a joke. Just give out the honor and be done with it, so that guys don't have to do anything because you're not going to play the game. The game doesn't matter. Everyone's in it. But I just it's great they got Pro Bowl nods, but I kind of feel like it just doesn't matter.
Oh, and it doesn't, and it kind of goes. For me, it's how football has kind of gone at the NFL level. I get a chance with you. We go down there every day and watch practice. There is no. You go down to football. I feel like there should be times during practice. It should be brutal for those guys, and they should be hitting each other. They don't do it, and I think that people ask me all the time, why did they get off the slow starts and things like that? It's because they don't.
Why can't they tackle?
Because they don't do it. And it's the same thing in the pro. It's the same thing kind of where football. And I understand with the injuries, but part of the injuries are because they don't practice, and it's a fine line there. But yeah, the Pro Bowl to me, all those All-Star games, they're all besides baseball, they're all just terrible.
Well, baseball's kind of hard to ole.
Yeah.
But yeah, NBA All-Star Weekend just isn't what it was. The Pro Bowl, they had to basically do away with it because it became flag football. Now they're, like I said, so there's no alternates for offensive linemen now. That's why you didn't. So in previous year, Joe Bitonio might get an alternate nod. Well, there are no alternates for offensive linemen because, they're just not needed. Here's coach from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Joel's a Pro Bowler. Joel's a Hall of Famer, but he's playing at an extremely high level this season as well. It does not look like he's fallen off, at all. This is playing at a high level. I know the rules are a little bit different now with the Pro Bowl as it relates to the roster for offensive line and defensive line, which is a little interesting, I guess you would say. But he's a Pro Bowler, whether it's in name or otherwise. But he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So nice of Kevin to say, but. To me, now it's the All-Pro. When you're talking about the status, the stature, it's the All-Pro thing. Obviously, Myles will get it. Denzel will get it. Be interested to see if any of these 3 rookies get it. But the All-Pro, I think, is the new standard because it used to be, X-time Pro Bowler when you're looking at potential Hall of Fame or whatever. I think that, too, changes a little bit when you're trying to evaluate a player's career.
Who's the top rookie for Browns, right? And if you had to pick, what's your top 2?
Carson Schlesinger.
Yeah, Carson Schlesinger. I agree. He's been outstanding.
I was frustrated, and we can get into this next. I was frustrated with some of the talk around Quinshawn and the narratives that started to pop up with him. Really stinks that he got hurt and that his season's over. But some of the things that were being said about him as a player and the criticisms that were starting to fall, not his fault. He didn't have an offensive line. Not his fault that as soon as he's handed the football, he's got 3 guys ready to tackle him.
He's a dartboard.
7 yards deep in the backfield. Not his fault. Because everyone's pointing, well, his yards per carry are down. Well, of course. He's been hit 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage and he's having to break tackles before he even gets close to the line of scrimmage. Typically, when you're talking about guys who can break tackles and lower the pads, they're getting through the line. They're getting into the second level of a defense. We'll get into that next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland, 1 hour down, 3 more to go. The Christmas Eve edition of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, minus Ken and Anthony, till 10 on the Fan.
and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News continues every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Mackenzie Flume.
All the Browns and NFL news you may have missed at work. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
Take the Fan with you wherever you go. Don't forget to listen to us on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. It's hour number 2 of the Christmas Eve edition of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. Mine is Ken and Anthony. It's Daryl Ruiter. It's Coach Lance Reisland. We're with you till 10 here on the Fan. Happy holidays to you and yours. Hopefully y'all got all your Christmas shopping done. If not, I wish you well today because Santa arrives sometime overnight. I'm already seeing whether it's a social media app where I look up at the television, everyone's got their own Santa trackers ready to go.
Santa is coming.
Apparently.
He is on his way, whether you like it or not.
The tracker thing is a big thing for my kids, trying to find the right one.
Okay.
Right? That will get things into our house as quick as possible.
I was going to say, who's quickest?
I was going to say, which one's the bat? Like, is it the NORAD one?
I always was NORAD. I did 12 years in the Air Force, right? I was in Anchorage. NORAD was what we used up there.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know now. I'm going NORAD myself.
Well, hey, look. Hey,
learn something every day. I'm learning something every day here.
NORAD is the official Santa tracker of Owen. So
now mine as well.
And now mine, too.
All right. There we go. Show stance.
There we go. 216-474-0092. A lot of Browns conversation this morning. Cavaliers won last night, by the way. That's back-to-back wins for them. So, I don't know. Maybe we can all take a deep breath. Cavs in New York against the Knicks at the Garden on Christmas Day. It's a noon tip-off, which means it'll tip off like at 12:20 because they need about 20 minutes to set the game up on television. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we pause there, Lance, I'm a little frustrated in some of the things that people were starting to say about Quinshon Judkins and how he's quote unquote fallen off. He's not being as productive as he was earlier in the season. And my argument is, well, no duh. He keeps getting hit as soon as he gets the ball 7 yards deep in the backfield, and he's having to break tackles just to get out of the backfield. It's not like he's having to break tackles to try and get to that second level of the defense. That's kind of a big deal. So, of course, his production is going to fall off, but his yards after contact metrics kind of remain the same.
Well, for me, I said this the other day. The thing about Quinshon that worries me, it's not his ability to break. He's going to be really successful. His type of running back doesn't have a long shelf life. Those guys who run violently, that would be my only concern about going out and making, if it's Rocket Sanders, whoever it is, they got to get some guys that can take some mid-game carries away from him because those guys that run like he does, especially if they're not going to invest in the offensive line, this is going to be how he runs. And if he gets 4 yards, he's kind of a 4-yard guy who's going to break some for you. But his style right now is what worries me because everything is violent, which is awesome to watch. But in terms of shelf life, those guys don't last very long. We're down there every day. Those two guys are too big to run like he does. But that's his style, and that's what made him successful. But yeah, all those people saying he fell off, absolutely not. I thought he was more impressive. He's had some of the best 2-yard runs this year that I've ever seen because they were 7 yards run. He got hit 7 yards in the backfield. He ran for 9. He only gained 2. Like I said, with Quinshon, it's just about his style. That style does not last. They're going to have to limit his carries just a little bit, maybe get him in space a little bit because he's proven he can catch the ball. Running between tackles is kind of his own. He is his own worst enemy because he will look for contact, and that doesn't last very long in this league.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he had surgery yesterday.
No knee, though. That's important.
Yeah.
No knee.
Broken fibula, dislocated ankle. They put everything back together yesterday, 4 to 6 month rehab recovery time, which means he should be good to go by the time minicamp rolls around and then we get into training camp. So knock on wood, cross your fingers, should be okay for the 2026 season. But to your point, yeah, unfortunately, already banged up, suffers an injury like that. But yes,
There's a guy
glad it wasn't a knee.
They got to find a way to get him in space a little bit more, in my opinion. And obviously he's great between tackles and that power run game, but figuring out a way to get him in space so that some of that contact happens against second level guys, right? Some DBs, some safeties, not always against those 240-pound linebackers, because he's not afraid of contact. He's his own worst enemy when it comes to getting banged up, because he's looking for violence.
Well, and Dylan Sampson got banged up this year too. Same thing. Like just when his motor started going. Right, he had the 66-yard catch and run off the screen pass against the Raiders, and we're all like, wait a minute, who knew he had that gear? Because he was just turned it into another gear as he was running away from the defense. But yeah, he got banged up. So that is obviously something to keep an eye on when you're talking about those running backs. And hopefully, I don't think they'll draft another running back, but you can never put anything past the Cleveland Browns, who are smarter than all of us, okay? They don't win, but they're smarter than all of us, and they're not afraid to tell you that they're smarter than all of us with their grand plans and their alignment, which isn't alignment anymore, apparently, or maybe not. Well, I guess we're going to find out on January 4th and 5th when Black Monday rolls around. We'll see if
What's your call? Who goes? What's your call right now?
Right now, I think they're going to fire Kevin. I think they're going to scapegoat him. And I said it earlier in the show, and I've said it on other shows that I've been on too, I can't defend the indefensible. He's had some really bad coaching moments. But at the same time, man, I feel for the guy. And everything, it's hard to coach here. It's hard to win here. And it's harder than it should be. But that organization finds a way to make it hard. And so I feel bad for him. He's done good work here. He got 2 11-win seasons, got the Browns to the playoffs 2 years. They won a playoff game. They were a couple of plays away from the conference championship game. You wonder, had they won that divisional game in Kansas City, just how much might have changed because of that. I know we dip into the ifs and buts and candy and nuts jar here, but what if Baker didn't try and block after or make a tackle after throwing a pick against the Houston Texans and blows up his shoulder? Maybe that doesn't happen if he doesn't blow up his shoulder or something like that. What could have been? What if they didn't get desperate and trade for Deshaun Watson? The whole expansion era of Browns football is all what if. It's all second guessing. It's all looking in the rearview mirror. It's all compiling spreadsheets of just all the bad stuff that has happened with this franchise, which, by the way, I have one. I'm 5 tabs deep on the bleep sheet now. Page 1 is just overall records, coaches, owners, GMs, coordinators. Sheet number 2 is dedicated to the quarterbacks. Sheet number 3 is the running list of the quarterbacks because I got tired of counting how many they've had. So now everyone is online. So now I know the next guy's number 43. It's like you're at the deli counter, now serving 43. That's where we're going to be next year. The next sheet is winning and losing streaks. And then the 5th sheet now is overall records. So most wins, most losses. So I have a 5-page deep spreadsheet because I got tired of looking all this stuff up every year.
Well, I want to tell you what I think Kevin will, if he is the scapegoat, that's what it would be. Because once again, I like the fact that he's taking it all on himself. Now, once again, sometimes his interviews, as a coach who was very passionate and kind of got loud and obnoxious at times, I respect the fact that
wait, time out. You're loud and obnoxious?
Yes, I am. When I was coaching, my wife will tell you I was, very energetic. But
here on the Fan, we definitely encourage the loud and obnoxious, especially in this time slot.
Well, you know what? And the thing is,
I just got the look from Owen. Somebody just caught strays who's not here to answer for themselves.
I don't definitely feel that.
It's all with love, but it's also the truth.
But you get his demeanor has taken it all upon himself, and I appreciate that because that's hard to do in these situations. It's easy to pass the buck when you're struggling. It's easy to pass on your coaches and players, and whether you like it or not.
You mean like Bubba Ventrone tried to do a couple weeks ago?
Well, that was the one that hit a nerve for me because that's kind of like coaching. Could you own it, right? That's on you, whether it is or not. That's on you. So this has been tough for him. And if he goes, like I said, people say he won't be picked up. I disagree because there's a guy out there that likes that demeanor. There's an owner out there. There's somebody that will like that demeanor. Maybe his voice will get through there, but yeah, if he's gone, it is a scapegoat to me.
Well, I will tell you that the Kevin Stefanski that you see and hear during press conferences is not the Kevin Stefanski I know. It's not. He's got a great personality. He's got a good sense of humor. But like when he's in front of the cameras and microphones, man, he just doesn't want to say anything. He does, and I actually respect it. He doesn't want to be a headline. He doesn't want to say something that becomes a headline. I'm trying to think. And Owen, you probably could be a better. I can't. And if he does get fired, maybe we need to do like the Kevin Stefanski tribute show, where we play back his most memorable press conference moments. So I don't know if we could even get a full segment out of that.
Well, Daryl, I understand the question, but respectfully, I don't really have anything to add at this time.
There you go. So the answer we're looking for,
we're going to do better.
We don't have any Kevin Stefanski memorable press conference moments because, well, he just that's just not how he wanted to present. I think the most revealing he ever got was earlier this year after the Joe Flacco trade, where he just said, there wasn't a world where I thought we were trading Joe Flacco this year. Like that.
Yeah, that was the first time it really felt like there was a crack in the armor.
That's what I felt. Yeah, I was like, what are we doing?
The thought companions or thought partners.
The alignment. The alignment was gone. That's what I thought too.
They were misaligned all of the sudden.
It happens.
It does. Well, it happens a lot when it comes to the Browns.
That's true.
Nobody specializes in losing and misalignment more than the Cleveland Browns do. That is a fact. I can back that up with statistics. I got 5 pages of them. Coming up at 7:45, we've got 2-second trivia, and Owen is going to be the judge, jury, and executioner, so I wish you all luck.
4-pack of combo meals to Mr. Hero on the line. It'll make a great Christmas present for someone.
Great stocking stuffer. 216-474-0092. It's Daryl Ruiter.
Stocking full of Roman burgers.
Lance Reisland. We're with you until 10. In for Ken Carman and Anthony Lima on the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima, minus those guys here on The Fan.
Sports news continues every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Mackenzie Flume.
I have to do my part and, get some wins. I think I have to do my part and play clean football, and the rest isn't in my hands. That's really all it is. It's not, I don't own the organization, so I can't promise anything will happen. I'm not God. I can't dictate what's going to happen each and every day, each and every minute. You just got to enjoy what you do have.
Listen, I respect Shedeur Sanders there clearing a couple things up. He doesn't own the team, and he's not God. So we
clear.
We got that side.
I was unaware of those two things until.
So was I. I'm glad he cleared that up for us. Does have a film crew though. He is followed around by the posse of cameras that are documenting everything for him.
When they make it in on time.
One second. Late to the party, You guys are questioning again.
Hang on. We got to time out. We got to restart the press conference here. Hang on a second. Film crew. Okay, cameras are set and action. Okay, there we go. That's what it's like covering Shedeur Sanders.
I'm glad I didn't bring my crew in this morning.
Listen,
I appreciate
get those clearances.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, did I need to sign a release for you or something?
No, everything's clear. We cleared it all before.
I want my cut of that NIL, baby. I take cash, take Venmo, PayPal, Cash App.
You don't just take Griswold hockey jerseys?
Well, my sister,
solid jersey, by the way. Solid jersey.
My sister gave this to me a couple years ago, so it's become like a holiday tradition here at the Fan. On Christmas Eve, Daryl is hosting one of the shows.
Right.
And so it just, I think last year I did the morning show too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, probably. You've been doing a lot of morning shows the last couple of years.
Yeah, because it was dark outside. And the only reason I know that is because the photo that I have of me wearing the jersey last year, it was on the other side of the studio, and the windows were behind me and it was dark. So it
Back when I still knew what was outside. Now I don't know. Now I'm in the closet.
Now that we got that part sorted out. No, my sister gave me this jersey a couple years ago for Christmas. And it's like my favorite thing to wear on Christmas Eve now. It's my Clark Griswold with Santa Moose.
Solid
hockey jersey, yeah.
What's your call on matching family pajamas, Owen? Are you a...
Well, since I just got a text this morning from my wife that said, this morning started a little rough. She was in a fury because she's going to work today too. So thought we had all the new matching pajamas for the kids and was missing a bag of pants. So she called the place that we got them from. They've still got the bag. So I've got to go get that after the show now, which means I have to go into Avon Commons, which is a place that I dread going into, especially this time of the year where people are making their last minute runs, and it's, they've got every retailer down there. So
they will knock you down too. This is all business time for people.
So we have the same pair of pajama pants, me and my wife, that's probably been 5 years running now. Tomorrow morning I will wake up, I will put those pants on. We will go to the tree, do the presents with the family. The kids will all open their stuff. It'll be great. And then I will walk back to my room, go back to the gym shorts, pour my coffee, and back to business as usual. But for about an hour and a half, we all match.
All right, very nice. What about you, Daryl? What would you say on the matching pajamas?
Hopefully she's not listening. I'm not big on the matching pajamas.
Oh, I think you look good in matching pajamas, though. And a picture. Send a picture out.
Mostly because I just don't think our fashion style is the same. I don't think I would look good in anything that she would want to wear.
I don't know. Matching pajamas are pretty universal. I think she needs to do that. I think she might have that for you.
I would not look good in pajamas with some sort of a floral arrangement on them.
I'm getting the vibe that you're a matching pajamas guy.
Yeah. That's why he asked
absolutely.
the question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you come from a uniform sport, right?
Yeah. So I'll get
socks are the same and everything, right?
Yeah. We're gonna do that today. We're doing a Stranger Things day. We're gonna go home. I'm gonna get cleaned up, take a shower. Then we're going match pajamas and chill on the couch today. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Well, nice to know you came to the show without, getting cleaned up and taking a shower. You're going to wait,
to
to get home to do that.
Well, no, you got to rinse yourself off after this thing.
Well, that's true, too. Yeah, I mean, the stench of spending 4 hours with you and
Daryl's going to make you like
louse. Don't want to be taking that home with you. On
Absolutely, Shawshank style. Just
Wow. I was not expecting a Shawshank style this
When
morning.
you live in Brown's prison, Daryl, you get used to Shawshank.
This is true. It usually takes me till February to wipe the stench of the previous season off of me, and that's
then hope come back. Then hope come back.
Then it's back by August. Coming back though, you heard from Shedeur Sanders and right attitude, right approach. He's doing a good job of saying the right things. He does a good job of making sure that he checks himself, but also checks the media to make sure like we don't try and twist something he's going to say into something that he either didn't mean to say or something inflammatory. But as far as his future, I don't know that the next 2 weeks, and this goes for Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, organizationally, I don't think these next 2 games, albeit against the Steelers and the Bengals, Lance, I don't think that these next 2 games move the meter at all.
Well, the thing that is interesting to me is I've never been a part of it, and I'm new to what I'm doing here with the media kind of concept, but the idea of every throw is that he is the guy or he is terrible. There's got to be a happy medium here. There's got to be a place where he is making some good decisions, but he's also making some bad ones, and he's making some good throws, and he's making some bad throws, and every throw can't be the decision that he's the guy or not the guy, in my opinion. I think he's done some real good things with his footwork. I think he's moved forward with his progression, but we don't know, is he setting protections? We don't know if he's going to the right spot. We don't know if they've had to reduce things in, the getting 5 out and progressions and things like that. We don't know that because we're not in those meeting rooms, so we don't really know where his progression is mentally. A lot of what he had to do in Colorado is because he didn't have pass protection. Doesn't necessarily mean he can't. He just didn't have to do it at Colorado. So for me, with the idea of can he here, can't he, it's still up in the air, and that will still be up in the air until he gets people around him. When he played great against Tennessee, it wasn't in spite of anybody. It was with his teammates. When he played kind of poorly, it wasn't because of him. It was because of him and his teammates. They got to improve around him if they're going to make a true evaluation, in my opinion.
Here's my evaluation. All I need is a stopwatch. Ball out in less than 3 seconds versus ball out north of, I'll even go 3.5 seconds. I'll give him the extra half a second there. If the ball is coming out within 3.5 seconds, that tells me he's reading and reacting as quickly as he needs to be successful at this level. If it's more than 3.5 seconds, he's not there yet, which means he's not there yet because the ball is not coming out in less than 3.5 seconds, because that's what it is at this level. At Colorado and in college, you can get away with holding on to the ball a little bit and waiting for things to develop and buying yourself time and running around and all those. You can't do that in the NFL. NFL's more precise. It's timing based. It's anticipatory. It's all those things. And he's shown you glimpses of it, which tells me that it's starting to, the light bulb is starting to come on as far as the NFL level goes. It's not on yet. And that's where I'm at with him. And the only way he's going to get there is if he keeps playing.
Well, the pre and post snap, if you look at the pre and post snap stuff, that's where, so people are like, he can't be a check down Charlie. If that's what they're giving you, then you got to be a check down Charlie. But like you're saying, you got to do it quicker, right? If they're giving you a 2 shell where they're 18 yards deep, then take that check down, let your guy run with it. You don't have to necessarily hold on to the ball if you know the check down is what they're giving you. And there's some things like you're saying that he has to get faster with at the NFL. The number that we always talk about is like that 2.8 to 3.2. That's the magic. You're getting to 1, 2 to 3. That's how fast it's got to happen. He's not doing that yet, but you're seeing progression. But again, if the Steelers have to play for something, it's going to be a check down Charlie Sunday because they're going to cover. They're going to demand that he throws it shallow, and if he doesn't, and everybody wants him to stretch it deep, then he's going to throw interceptions because they're going to demand that he throws it underneath Sunday if they need to win.
I almost kind of don't mind at this point if he throws interceptions. And here's why.
Even in a double cover, even in it, like, okay.
Let me explain.
All right. You're going to have to explain this one. This one's good.
There's... I don't want the check down Charlie, and I want to test the limits here. Winning, loss, it's inconsequential right now. Your season's shot. You've got 3 wins. If you win both, if you finish with 5 wins, it doesn't change my opinion of the state of this franchise and where they're at and the decisions that they have to make. Okay? So winning and losing these last 2 games, for me, is inconsequential, only in the sense of, what am I going to put them on my spreadsheet? Do they join the 13-loss club or do they join the 14-loss club? That's it. So I want him to be tested. The reason I don't like the check down stuff is because that's not testing him.
But I think it is, though, right? What if they give it to him?
Well, but what
that's
I mean
what they give him, though.
Is like Sunday against Buffalo. That was clear. I'm just going to check it down, and that's that. But that really didn't test him against a thought-to-be Super Bowl contender in the Buffalo Bills. I want to see if he can stretch the field against good teams. I want to see if he can implement and be successful with a vertical passing attack with those teams. I want to see if he can throw open some tight windows or throw into some tight windows with accuracy against those good teams, because then I get an evaluation of him. I don't get much of an evaluation from a guy, just from my standpoint, and you can disagree with me because you're a former coach, you know this stuff better than I do. But like, I don't know that I can evaluate a guy that's checking it down all the time. As far as, decision, fine, right decision, yes or no, yeah, that's an evaluation. Does he get it out in, like you were saying, the 2.8, 3.2 or whatever? Okay, that's an evaluation point. But like, for me, you're not going to be at an elite level in the NFL if that's all you're doing. And that's what I want to see. I want to see if he's got that in him against these teams. So let it rip, let it fly. And if he makes mistakes, then I have evaluation points. I either have teaching moments for him, or I have, he just can't do it at this level for him. You see, that's where I'm coming from. So that's why I don't care if he throws interceptions right now, because I'm getting evaluation data points, to use their language. I'm getting the evaluation data points on him as a quarterback. Can you stretch out defenses? Can you throw over the top of defenses? Can you make those big plays? Can you fit it down the field in the tight windows, as opposed to make me sit and watch you check it down for 4 quarters? Because I'm not learning about you as a player, in my view, if that's all you're doing. I didn't learn a lot about Shedeur Sanders last week against the Buffalo Bills, and that kind of left me a little frustrated.
See, I'm the opposite. I was very, very happy last week, and here's why. Because going back to Dylan, and you know I'm high on Dylan. Dylan, especially in his last couple...
We all know you love you some Dylan Gabriel.
But here's the deal, though. When Dylan struggled, my struggle with Dylan wasn't early when he's taking the check down. It's when he was taking the check down, and now he had the open second, third level. Right now, the Bills did not...
He chose the check down over the second and third level.
Yeah, so for me, what you're saying is kind of the same thing I'm saying, in terms of I want to see the evaluation. And right now, that evaluation against the Bills, they were saying, I dare you to take that check down every single time, because we're not going to allow you to stretch it deep. Now, if it comes, what I'm watching on film, if it comes to the point where he's taking the check down and we have an open seam, or we take the check down and we have a hole in cover 2, or whatever it may be, then you start to evaluate. But right now, the evaluation for me was very good last week. They're saying, listen, we know you like to stretch it. We're going to make you take the check down. Now, that's the same thing. If the Steelers have to win on Sunday, you're going to see a bunch of that, because they're going to demand that he takes. They're going to play Tampa 2. There's going to be 3 guys back there, and they're going to say, I dare you to throw it short. Now, as he continues to do that, now you're going to start seeing those coverages where they're going to start to take away those easy options. They're going to start to take away those checkdowns. Now you see the evaluation. Can he? So what he did last week is going to help him moving forward, because he's going to start to see some true coverages that don't allow him to. Right now, you're just getting on passing downs. You're just getting these linebackers and safeties just getting out of there.
Well, they're passing downs. They're so far behind the sticks.
Correct.
That it's
you got it.
They can pin their ears back. That's the problem.
And if you can check it down and get to 2nd and 5, now you're going to see true stuff, because they got to play the run a little bit too. So the evaluation comes with I want to see him stretch the ball downfield, but I want to see him take what is there and what is open. If it's vertical, great. If not, don't stretch it unnecessarily. Get it to the guys who can run in space.
Forget the check down, chuck it, Shedeur. That's what I say. Lance says take the check down.
Give me check down Charlie all day.
He loves him some check down Dylan Gabriel too. Coming up next, do we have a Christmas treat for you? Some stocking stuffers for you It's 2-second trivia. Get in now, 216-474-0092. Owen, what do they win?
Oh, they got a 4-pack of combo meals from Mr. Hero.
Sounds delicious.
Roman
It's Daryl
burger,
Ruiter,
Christmas morning.
Lance Reisland, we're with you till 10 here on The Fan.
At Bedford Nissan.
.92 216-343-0092 or 0923.
Just call the normal number.
Just call the number.
or stream live on Odyssey, iHeart, or TuneIn. Don't trust anybody with your Cavs coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. You have 2 seconds and only 2 seconds to win. This is 2-second trivia.
Line up now, 216-474-0092 or 216-343-0923 for a chance to win a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. Mr. Hero introducing their new chicken tender wraps. Tossed in your choice of 6 different delicious sauces, including hot honey, buffalo with ranch, Kentucky bourbon, garlic, parmesan, barbecue, and teriyaki. Get any flavor wrap for only $6.49. Order in-store or online now. Away we go.
First, we have Scott in Parma, formerly home of the Redmen, no longer school.
That's where my wife went to school. Yes.
Now, so we'll go Valley Forge. Now we're going Valley Forge. We'll go a little bit of Normandy. The Invaders. We'll say home of the Invaders. Scott, home of the Invaders.
All right, Scott, you ready?
I am ready.
All
I'm
right, here we
Valley
go.
Forge alum. So.
All right, here we are. Name one of the 4 Browns named Pro Bowl alternates yesterday. You just have to give me one of the 4.
Ethan Postage.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It's a tough start. It's a tough one.
We are 0 for 1 trying to give away a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. 216-474-0092. 216-343-0923.
Next, we have Dan in Northfield.
Dan, happy holidays. You ready?
Happy holidays, yeah, guys.
All right. Oh, you know what? All right, here we go, because it is the Ken Carman Show. What controversial TV host called Ken Carman? I got thrown off by the chubby guy on the right.
I don't know, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, that's a good guess, though. That was a very good guess. Why did the chubby guy on the right throw me off when I was reading that?
The chubby guy on the right throws me off every day. With everything I do, when he comes in yelling about, whatever video he was watching while he was taking his little breaks in the other room.
I make at least 3 fat jokes every time I'm on with
That's true.
the chubby guy on the right. I feel bad about that. I blew that one. That was a good question, Owen, and I can't read. All right.
He'll come back maybe.
All right, next we got Kurt in Ravenna, home of the Smurf turf out in Ravenna. Kurt.
All right, Kurt, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, hey, this is the Happy Holidays edition of the 2-second trivia here. Who leads the Browns in scoring this season?
Harold Fannin.
Oh, man.
It's a tough start.
Owen is asking some tough questions
you gotta
here.
Hear the questions. It was scoring, not TDs. Come on.
I know. Had I asked TDs, we might have had a winner. Again, we're still trying to give away a 4-pack of Mr. Hero. 216-474-0092. 216-343-0923.
Alex, you're up next out of Columbia Station. Alex.
All right, Alex, you ready, bud?
Yes, sir.
How many sacks does Myles Garrett currently have?
20 and a half.
Oh, man. Oh,
I thought you threw a softball up there.
Oh,
We got to get 2 right. We don't even have 1 right yet.
Oh, man. Is this a host thing? Am I blowing the bid here?
I don't know.
Is that what's going on here?
You're not cheesing it up enough, guys.
Apparently not. Listen, I'm trying to give away free food here for Christmas.
That's what it is. Coach Lance, you got to get cheesier on
All right,
your
here we
intro.
go. We got a Blue Devil, Ted. Ted, bring it home for us, Ted. We need to give away these gift certificates, please.
Okay,
I'm
Ted.
ready.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. Who leads the Browns in receiving yards?
Harold Fannin.
Nice.
You got 1.
Yes.
You are Ted in the barn.
There we go. All right. Threw him on hold.
No, you leave Ted up. He's got to answer a second one.
Okay. Oh, he's got to get a second one now?
Yeah, it's 2-second trivia.
All right, here
2
we go.
questions.
All right, Ted.
All right, here we go.
Bring it home, Ted.
Ted knows what he's doing.
Quinshawn Judkins leads the Browns with 827 rushing yards. Who is second on the team with 123 rushing yards?
Oh, boy.
That's not the guy's name.
Oh, man. We're halfway home.
We're halfway there.
Halfway home.
All right,
I thought that was a pretty easy one, too. I'm deliberately trying to ask easy questions. I'm trying to give away food.
You're like Santa. You want to give things away.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we got Simone in Parma. Simone in Parma,
you're next up. You ready, bud?
I'm ready.
Okay. Who leads the Cavaliers in assists with 6.1 per game?
I haven't watched the Cavaliers game.
At least he was honest. At least they're honest, right?
She was like, I have no idea.
Not gonna.
Hey, it's not Christmas yet. Tomorrow, Cavs season starts for me.
Cavs season
I'm ready
starts
to go.
tomorrow on Christmas. All right.
All right, next we got Chuck out of Painesville.
Oh.
Chuck, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Who was named the head football coach at Penn State?
Ricky Vaughn.
It's not Ricky Vaughn.
Solid response, though. If you're going to go out like that.
Yeah.
All right, ready? Let's go. We're going to get hot here. Let's go Jim in Rocky River.
Jim and Rocky River. Merry Christmas.
Morning,
You ready,
guys.
Jim?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Right back at you. You ready to go?
Yep.
All right. All right. Let's take two on this question. Who leads the Browns in scoring?
Our kicker.
You know what? I'm gonna accept that. I'm gonna accept that.
Gotta say the name.
Oh. The judges have spoken. Like I was willing to accept that.
I appreciate that you were willing to accept that. That's wrong.
I was willing to accept it out of sheer desperation.
I was going to say, you're just trying to
It
get
harkens
lenient.
back to what kind of car were the people driving when they stole the Flamingo in Parma? And the answer was?
It was some sort of Volkswagen.
That's not correct.
Okay, all right. All right, where are we headed
All
next?
right, let's get it rolling here. Jesse out of Millersburg.
Jesse, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Take two on this question. What controversial TV host called Ken Carman, quote, the chubby guy on the right, end quote?
Whitlock.
Yes!
Nice.
Got it.
He got it.
All right, here we go. Let's get it going now.
No, I got to ask him a second question,
Let's
right?
get it going. Here it is. Two in a row.
Make it easy.
All right, here we go. Who leads the Browns in receiving yardage?
Cannon.
Yes.
There we go.
We have a winner.
Nice.
It took like 30 calls, but we have a winner.
Appreciate all the callers there.
Jesse?
All right, we can keep going, right?
No, we're done.
We're
Jesse
done?
won.
Okay.
Jesse's the winner.
All right.
There's no time
So
for second
Jesse's
place.
got to be on hold so we can get Jesse's info.
Congratulations, Jesse.
He is on hold.
All right.
All right.
I don't know if Millersburg has Mr. Heroes, but they've got a Der Dutchman. And
Actually, so here's the thing. I think I ended up asking every question on the sheet, and I asked 3 of them twice.
yeah, it's a pretty good day.
That's a good day.
Pretty good day.
That is.
I'm
that
glad
is-
to see I didn't waste my efforts. Because there's been days where I write a whole sheet and then we give it away on the first one. I feel like I wasted my effort.
I was about to ask like Christmas movie trivia. We were getting to that point.
We did it. We made it through.
Yeah, I was a little. I'll be better next time. The first time through, I'll be better.
That's okay.
Solid first start, but I'll be better.
Listen, you're gonna watch the tape.
That's exactly right.
And you're gonna get better.
The eye in the sky doesn't lie.
We are halfway home. Thank God. On the Christmas Eve edition of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. Ken and Anthony aren't here. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland. We're with you till 10 on The Fan.
This is Gresh with an Odyssey Sports.
people around him.
Catch Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker on Afternoon Drive every Wednesday at 4. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I think everything applies. It's trusting your eyes, trusting what you see, trusting how you've been prepared, trusting your coaching, trusting the skills that you developed over the weeks. I think it's all in one.
You know what I hear when I hear Shedeur Sanders talking about trust? The image that I have in my mind, because I'm a movie guy, I'm all about like movie references that nobody else seems to get but me. I've got the scene from the 1989 Batman. Jack Nicholson's the Joker, and he's doing the hubba hubba hubba. Who do you trust?
Still the best Joker.
He's dancing on the floor. Hey, who do you trust? Who do you trust? Like that's what I have in my head is a visual every time I hear Shedeur Sanders talking about trust. Which is important as a quarterback on a variety of levels. You gotta trust your coaches. You gotta trust your offensive system that you're being given with, right? You've got to trust your teammates. That they're going to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. You've got to trust your eyes that what you're seeing is what's actually happening. Like there's so many layers of the trust that you have to have, and that's just not something that is there from day one. And that's whether you're Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or, in this case, Shedeur Sanders. Like that stuff just, it takes time.
Well, and the big thing for him right now is being a game manager. And I'm here to tell you that being a game manager is a compliment, not a derogatory term. And what I mean by that is that when you for him to grow, when he says, I got to trust, when people say, I'm going to throw it to Fannin or I'm going to throw it to Judy, you better not be saying that. You better be saying, I'm throwing off this coverage. I'm throwing off this leverage. I'm throwing off what I see. So if everybody is mad because he's checking it down and that's where it takes you, then you check it down and you live to fight another day. Obviously he's got to block out all the noise and kind of stay in the path he's doing. And we're going to see this week because, again, I'm cheering hard for the Ravens because I want this game to mean something on Sunday, because if it means something, he's going to see coverage. He's going to see coverage that's going to make him check it down. And then eventually the Steelers are going to have to come up. Then there's going to be those shots downfield. When he says trust, what he's got to really, it almost becomes like a selfish kind of thought, right? I got to go where the open guy tells me to go, where the coverage tells me to go. That's what he's done very, very well. That's what he did last week. Everybody says they want to, if it becomes a check down Charlie game and then eventually he gets a couple stretches vertically, I'll be very happy watching it Sunday.
Well, I want lots of vertical stretches on Sunday. I miss watching fun football.
But what if they don't give it to him? What if they did? What if they say, you know what, we're going to make you check it down? You want him to throw it up there and give him a chance? Or are you comfortable? Like for me, I'm not happy if he's throwing it up into coverage. Even if they get it, I'm not happy.
Well, again, the object is not to win, right? We
I hope. I mean, it's got to be.
Not anymore.
For him, it's got to be.
Well, for him, yes. But I'm saying that ship has sailed for the Browns. Nothing changes. If they win these next two games, do you think it changes the organizational outlook at all, whether it's with Kevin Stefanski, whether it's Andrew Berry, whether it's like Shedeur Sanders? Like, does anything change if they win these next two games, which they're not going to do? But go ahead and answer the question.
Well, I think if he's not going to the right spot, I think it does. I think it depends. It has a lot to do with, do they trust him to be the quarterback of the future? If I'm throwing the ball up in the coverage because I want to make a play, and for some reason Judy makes a play, which he has not done, and he goes and makes a play, and they score a touchdown, everybody's like, oh, to me, that's a minus. I don't want him thrown into coverage. I want him to throw it where the coverage tells him to go. I want him to throw it to be a quarterback, to step up in the pocket and throw it where it's supposed to go, not to throw it up and not to be fun. The thing that's fun in football is winning, and winning football plays is what he's got to continue to make, not lucky throws down the field into coverage, even though that is what we want to see. I want to see him check it down. I want to see him, if the check down's not there, why? Because something vertically is open. That's what I want to see. And I think it does matter. Is he making the right decisions with the football in course of progressions and what he's seeing from the defensive secondary.
I'm going to disagree with you on the winning is always fun. I watched the Browns win a game in Buffalo like 6-0.
Beautiful.
That was a
absolutely
that was
beautiful.
a painful game to watch.
There are no ugly losses ever.
Yes, there are.
You can adjust and say we got to do things better.
No ugly wins.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no ugly wins. There are no ugly wins ever. Now you can, if it's 2-0, great. You live to fight another day. That's the one thing I never did. If everybody says, what would you do if you went back coaching? I would enjoy the wins more. That I always expected to win, and I wouldn't enjoy them, and the losses beat me up. If I was coaching now and we won 2-0 3 weeks in a row, I'm good with that. No one remembers what the score was. It's a win or a loss. That's how you're judged. So that's for me. There are no ugly wins, Daryl. That's for me.
I'm going to remember the score just to spite you.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, Coach, how about that 2-0 banger you had against Parma?
I'll take it. You know why? Because we'll live to fight another day. We'll come in and everybody will say you stunk on offense, and I'll go, you're right. You were great on defense. You're right.
We still scored more points than they did.
We scored more points than we got the win. And you know what? 4 weeks from now, we beat Parma. No one's telling me the score. We got the win. That's all I care about.
All right. There is such a thing as winning ugly.
Nope.
And
wins.
Exhibit A are your Cleveland Browns, because when they win, it's usually ugly. It's not pretty.
I think it's beautiful. I think all wins are beautiful.
They lose ugly and they win. It's just ugly football that they play most of the time. We got the 5-week Joe Flacco reprieve, which was nice. We had the 2007 season with Derek Anderson, which was nice, although they didn't make the playoffs. We had the 2020 season with Baker Mayfield when he was allowed to play and didn't have COVID. That was nice. We've had a few spells, but it hasn't been consistent enough for me to really enjoy watching. Like one of these guys.
What if they won every game 6-3? Would you say? And they're 11-4, but they haven't scored more than 12 points, 13 points all year.
Then they're the Chicago Bears or Baltimore Ravens that won the Super Bowl. Right?
But you're good with that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
right, that's good.
I'll take it.
Pretty football. It's good-looking football.
No, the trophy's pretty. I don't know that the football was pretty, but
wins are always pretty.
That sterling silver shiny Vince Lombardi trophy looks pretty nice.
Absolutely, and you take the wins as you get them. It doesn't matter how you get them. You live to fight another day.
What's the ugliest game you ever won as a coach?
Oh gosh, we had a couple when our defense was really good that we would win. We won a couple games 7-0, and I remember people saying how bad I called plays that day, and I was like, you're right, but we won. And it's funny because you get the next week, no one remembers. But I had a couple 7-6, 13-10. That's hard to do in high school. You can usually score some points in high school. So I had some really poorly called games. My favorite game was we won 51-50. Once again, that didn't matter either because it was a win. So it doesn't matter as long as you win.
Worst play you called. Since it's I'm see what I'm doing right now. I'm checking your accountability.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to build the trust with you that Shedeur Sanders is trying to build with there. So I'm doing a trust exercise with you.
Well, I'm gonna do the worst play I ever called because I went against my dad as head coach, and at the end of the half, my dad told me to sit on it because we were up 21-0, and I was always a believer until halftime the gas pedal stayed on.
Okay.
So he told me to sit on it. I decided to call a wheel. We scored on the wheel to go up 28-0. My wife came over to me and said, "That was an amazing call. Your dad is absolutely going to kill you." She gave me a kiss and ran away. So that was the worst call because my dad was usually not very he didn't influence me, but when he said something, I usually listened and I went against it. And needless to say, that was the last time I did that.
Oh wow! Wow. But you scored a touchdown on it.
Yeah, but it was and
it still didn't help you.
It didn't help me because once again, my dad gave me free reign, and head coach is in charge. And once again, if that play is picked off, it's not me.
You broke the chain of command.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not me that's going to take the blame for that. It's going to be him. Why wouldn't you sit down at the end of the half? It would be him that had to take it. So when I got in the head coaching position, I understood why he did some of the things he did because it all rolls downhill on you as a head coach.
We would go through all the bad calls that the Browns coaches have had over the years, including Kevin Stefanski. But and we're out of here at 10, right?
Yeah, Not enough tape. I ran out of tape.
we don't have that kind of time this morning to go through all those. Plus, too, it's Christmas Eve. We want you to be in a holly jolly mood.
How many of those calls are bad execution, though? Everybody, the vanilla. Some of those calls are lack of execution up front too. I'm going to side on the coach that one. I'm going to do coach speak.
Are you accusing Andrew Berry of not stocking the cupboard correctly?
I'm just going to go with vanilla.
Let me hit this real quick, Lance, before the lawyers come in.
Yes.
Reckless speculation.
We're good. We're absolved. Go ahead.
All right. So I just sometimes it's just the idea of your vanilla offense and being predictable. That comes down to sometimes that comes down to you're just not doing it well up front, or you're not catching the ball, or you're not throwing it right. It's not always vanilla, right? The same vanilla offense Kevin stunk with is the reason he got hired in Cleveland. Now it's not working right now.
Even vanilla offense, right? If you execute it correctly, should be successful,
correct.
Right?
Correct.
Like
yes.
But it takes all 11.
It takes all 11.
At least all 11, including the guys on the sidelines that maybe are influencing the plays as well, right?
Correct.
Coming up with it.
Correct. Yeah. It's once again that would go back to my overlying thing where everybody's involved. The goods, the bads, they're all involved in it. It ain't one person, but that vanilla predictability. That's a little bit overrated, in my opinion.
Just follow the spreadsheets. That's what they do. They'll never steer you wrong. 216-474-0092. Coming up, they might be out of the doghouse. Maybe. Well, maybe we'll find out tomorrow on Christmas. That's next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland with you until 10 in for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima without Ken or Anthony on the Fan.
Ready for some action?
and his practice window this season was open to give him his first practices so he wouldn't be away from football until the spring. Listen to The Fan Rewind weeknights 11 p.m. to midnight, all of the best segments from all of our shows, and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News continues every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Mackenzie Flume.
You can listen to The Fan anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app or by telling your smart speaker to play 92.3 The Fan. And now, guess what? You can find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. That's right, including the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima from 6 to 10 a.m. An afternoon drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin, 2 to 7 p.m. live each and every weekday on the 92.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Subscribe to our channel for free. My favorite four-letter F word is free. Watch all the best content from your favorite shows on The Fan live and on demand.
I also wanted to tell everyone, that's Daryl Ruiter, right? Normally, he's brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store, as just a hit, but now it's a full show. So.
You got 4 full fun-filled hours with me.
Then I'm sure
Christmas
you'll probably
Eve.
be on the station 3 more times today, 4 more times.
I will be visiting.
Are you doing a midnight mass on the station?
I may end up doing midnight mass on the station. I go from here to Berea, 10:45, kicking it off with Bubba Ventrone, the coordinators talk. Then we got open locker room. We got some practice mixed in there. We won't hear from Kevin. Bummer. I got my brownie bites I got to knock out for YouTube. So, by the way, you can see those every day on YouTube. And then I'll visit with whoever's doing the afternoon show today. And then it's brown liquor time.
I mean, you can do it in the middle, Daryl.
Well,
be responsible about it. Come on.
Well, no, I got to celebrate that I'm done with
you're
my
clocking out. Yeah.
Yeah, that I have to clock out in style, in fashion here on Christmas Eve. All right, want to get in some Cavaliers. They did win last night, however. My other brother, Daryl, apparently is on the road somewhere here, and he knows something about Lance.
It's a scary thought.
I don't know. So, against my better judgment,
probably have the.
I'm going to take the call. My brother, Daryl, what do you have? Happy holidays.
Hey, guys, I don't have any smack to run against Lance. I just wanted to give him a shout-out. I used to live with one of his former coaches at the Islander apartment, John Sharilla. So I just want to say, hey.
Well, hello there.
Okay,
Appreciate you calling in.
We can do a Christmas shout out. You got a hot take for us here on Christmas Eve to stoke the fireplace? We're going to roast some marshmallows and have some hot chocolate before Santa comes.
Well, I really want to keep Shador. I think he's got what it takes, but who knows what the hell they're going to do. So, all right, guys, Merry Christmas. Adios.
All right. Thanks for checking in, my other brother, Daryl.
Well, the Shirillas were on my dad's staff. My dad was, when my dad got divorced, he moved to the Islander apartments.
Okay.
So
that's in Middleburg?
Yeah. So the Shirillas were awesome. They were John and Rich. They were on my dad's staff. Great people. John coached me at quarterback. I was not the easiest guy to coach. I was kind of bossy and thought I knew everything as a teenager would. So I appreciate those guys putting up with me, and I appreciate the shout out there, Daryl. It was very nice.
That call did not go the way I thought it was going to go.
No, I thought it was.
Hoping we were going to get some dirt or
something.
I was
going
to say, you guys are going to learn about me real quick. That's what I thought was coming.
That's the only reason I took the call. I just wanted a little, a little holiday cheer on Lance, give us the real scoop of what a knucklehead he was.
I was going to say, if I'm going to be down here, we need some dirt. It'll be coming, I'm sure.
Cavaliers won last night. They found a way to blow out the New Orleans Pelicans 141 to 118. It is their second straight win. They're back at it tomorrow in the Garden in New York City against the New York Knicks, who, there was supposed to be a little rivalry brewing here a couple years ago, but the Cavs just couldn't handle their business.
We haven't held up our end of the bargain.
Yeah, it really can't hold up
That's a
there.
good point for our Cavs Surfside update, brought to you by Surfside. Drink responsibly.
I am wondering, though, are they out of the doghouse just yet? Does the Bunsen burner get turned down on Kenny Atkinson's seat? Because it started to get real warm over the weekend when Chris Fedor is out there reporting, Cleveland.com covers the Cavs for them, does an outstanding job. When he puts out there that he's hearing that Dan Gilbert's not happy with how things are going, that That's not by accident. I mean, as obviously, it's a good job by Chris reporting that, but that's not by accident that's there. And that told me that Kenny's seat all of a sudden is blazing hot with what Dan is spending on this basketball team this year. But you've been through ups and downs as a coach. This was a team that won 15 straight games to start last season. They were expected to go at least to the conference finals last year. They did not get there. The same things that bothered them in previous playoff series, the softness. I hate saying it, but that it is what it is. I can't
they get
control
bullied.
it.
They get bullied.
Yeah,
they do inside. They get bullied.
The softness showed up. The lack of durability showed up. Guys got hurt. And they didn't get out of the second round again. And now here they are. They're only a couple of games over 500 at Christmas. And man, like the East seemed to open up. Like they got the Josh Allen treatment this year, where the East seemed to open up with injuries and whatnot. And they look like a team that just doesn't know what they're doing right now, while they too deal with guys in and out of the lineup.
Well, for me, all I've heard and I'm in this realm of thinking, is that it doesn't matter till they get to the playoffs, right? So that's kind of what everybody said.
But now they got to get there.
Told everybody,
right? So I guess the hot seat thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because now when we get there, if they're not ready, but like,
hey, they fired David Blatt with the best record in the NBA.
But I'm looking at like the last couple days, like they had 57 from their bench the other night, 55 last night. Their bench is kind of playing a little bit better. Their chemistry looks a little bit better. I thought Ty Jerome, even though he got exposed in the playoff, was like a key to their last year. But like, if everything is based on the playoffs, then you got to kind of ride that out to the playoffs, I would think, right? That's my thought. Like, let's get there. See if the plan is, are they building? They've had injuries. Are they trying to, I don't know what the plan may be. That's what they have in their offices. But my thing is, if it's,
I understand all that, but like, here's two problems, right? One is, they've got 2 wins against not great teams, but this schedule coming up through the end of the first week of January, which ends with JB Bickerstaff's Pistons, who are number 1 in the East right now, right? But they've got to play, they're in New York tomorrow. They've got to play the Rockets, the Spurs. The Suns are a playoff team right now, the Nuggets, and then the Pistons, right? So horrible schedule right now if you're on a hot seat, because it's really going to test,
But should he be on the hot seat? I just don't understand the hot seat.
Well, and then the other thing is, I agree with you, except for who's the owner. And Dan Gilbert has shown you before that not only are you on the hot seat when you would think that you wouldn't be because of the way that things are going, but he brought in, Johnny Bryant as the head assistant coach here, and we've seen it, 2 of the last 3 coaching changes where they had the heir apparent setting on the bench behind, Bickerstaff was behind Beeline. You had Ty Lue behind before. That's a tale as old as time when it comes to Cleveland Cavaliers and what they plan to do with their coaches. And I could totally see with the way that they started this season, when the expectations are something different, that maybe it's a itchy trigger finger, but it's something that could definitely happen because of the history of what Dan Gilbert does with the Cavaliers.
If the season ended today, the Cavs would be in the play-in tournament as the number 7 overall seed. They're at 17 and 14, as Owen mentioned. Detroit is leading the East at 24 and 6.
Well, luckily for them and for most of, I have been out there and readily admit that I do not care about the NBA. I care about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care about the NBA, and I especially don't care about the NBA until Christmas Day. So the season doesn't end today. It actually starts tomorrow for most of us, right? But you've put yourself behind the 8 ball where you could be 10 games over 500 right now, and you're barely above water, and had things not went the way that they did the last 2, you'd be at 500, and then you'd really be, trying to keep your head above water there. They didn't put themselves in a spot where they should be right now to have the glowing Christmas Day at noon should have been a celebration of Cavs basketball.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be edge of the seat viewing, while my kids are putting together their toys.
Yeah, look, this should have been the Cavs is the number 1 or the number 3 in the East against the Knicks, who are number 2 in the East, I mean, it was, heavyweight. This is supposed to be a heavyweight fight tomorrow. I don't know if this is going to be a heavyweight fight. And the Knicks are the wrong team for them to try and get things fixed against or whatever, right the ship, however you want to put it. Look, the two losses to the Bulls, just borderline inexcusable. DeAndre Hunter just hasn't looked like himself. I recognize guys have been banged
Looked good
up.
last 2 nights, though. Best nights. Better off the bench, maybe?
True, and I think that's what it is. Like, he just has to come off the bench for him to, all this trade speculation about Darius Garland. I don't know what value Darius Garland has. Jared Allen, as much as I love Jared Allen, I've been saying for 2 years they needed to trade him. And they won't do it. Kobe Altman is stubborn. And this is the other thing too. Like, Kobe's the one that jammed up the financials, and they're in the second apron, and they're very limited in what moves they can make to make this a better team, right? And he's the reason they're going to pay almost $400 million in salary and luxury tax, because they're in that second apron. Like, and this goes a little bit to our conversation earlier with, like, Kevin, like, why is the coach being held accountable, like, when they're working with what they're given? And I'm not convinced still. I thought Atkinson last year did a good job making all the pieces and parts fit together. Maybe that was the outlier, because in the couple years when JB was here, the pieces weren't fitting together. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't look like the pieces are fitting together right now. And we have to weigh in the injuries, right? Guys in and out of the lineup. Darius has been banged up. I get it, but...
Well, I think the chemistry's been off, right? And when I look at, if you look coming off the bench last year, they never lost a step. They had Ty Jerome, they had Karis LeVert, they had Strus, and they had George Niang.
Yeah.
Whether they're great players or not, there's something about chemistry. So when they came in the game, it didn't look like a different team. Right now, when the second group comes in, there's no free-flowing kind of action going on, right? And things get bad. Mitchell takes it up top and goes to work. I don't know. I think there's got to be a element of, like, time to let maybe the injuries, as you're saying, but that second group is got to have that chemistry, and that's a whole new second group now that those guys they're counting on that weren't involved last year that are now the guys coming off the bench. Their top 4 guys are new coming off the bench, pretty much.
I think too the pressure cooker of winning is a factor.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. The pressure cooker of the expectation to win is a factor.
Well, yeah, but your star is the one that turned that on. Donovan Mitchell's the one that put that pressure cooker on, and he might be the only one that can handle the pressure cooker right now. And that's a problem when you need 8 other guys, at least in a game to come out and handle that stuff with you. Other than him, there were moments of Sam Merrill early in the season, right? And then he got hurt. And now we're trying to build that back up. The only guy that's been able to withstand the pressure is Donovan Mitchell, and he can do that because he is a star. But you're not playing team basketball when that stuff happens, right?
And that's kind of what they moved to in the playoffs, right? Yeah. It just seems like it's one on 5 all the time in the playoffs.
Well, and Kenny Atkinson said something a couple weeks ago where he was asked about Donovan was putting up career numbers and how sustainable. He's like, look, it's sustainable because he's a great player, but it's not sustainable for us as a team. And they had a team the last couple of years. Now, I admittedly, because I've been tied up with Browns season, and once we get into the new year, after the Browns are done with their firings and hirings and whatever it is they're going to do, I'll be able to spend more time with the Cavaliers. So I've not been in that locker room and been around that team as much to really get a vibe. And the one thing I want to really get a beat on is, that natural camaraderie that they had, the goofing around in the locker room before and after games and stuff. And when I say goofing around, I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah,
being
enjoying
around
each other's company, busting each other's chops, having a good time, those type of things. I need to clarify that because when you say goofing around, that can have a negative connotation too. But I mean this in the positive sense. And so I'm very curious to see if that is continuing, or are guys feeling it now after the disappointments that they've had in the postseason the last 3-4 years. Is that starting to get to them? And now this is all about business, because when LeBron was here, I'm going to tell you right now, not a lot of fun was had in the locker room when LeBron was here and LeBron 2.0. I mean, you had the subtweeting, right? Remember LeBron fit in, fit out on Twitter. He put that one out there, and that was supposedly a shot like a Kevin Love or something, right? Kyrie Irving was just a grumpy Gus on a daily basis because he's Kyrie Irving, and that's just at the time how he was. But like there was the pressure cooker because it's LeBron is back, and we're competing for the NBA championship every year, and it's championship or bust and whatnot. And so like you could feel that around that team, Lance. Like they got along, they played well together, but you could feel that tension in the air. You know what I mean? And so because I've been around that and in that environment and observed it, I'm very curious to observe this Cavalier team up close and see if that's going on, because then you need a little pressure release valve there.
Well, that's the best chance for success, because if you're in the LeBron years and it wasn't fun, the adage is winning is fun, and that's what they were doing. So when you win, the idea that you're not great teammates, all that stuff goes away because you're winning. But when you're losing, you got to stick together, and that's when it frays. That's when there's non-alignment between players and coaches. So right now, if they have a good vibe, that gives them the best chance moving forward. Obviously, they got to practice and do all the things, but when things go bad is, kind of when things get exposed. When you're winning, everything is hid. So we're going to find out
winning is the deodorant, as they say.
Absolutely, and it does solve everything, and people get, like that or not, but that's what happens.
All right, the Browns are trendsetters. Yes, they are. Not everyone's happy about it either. I'm going to explain that next. It's the Christmas Eve edition of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. Ken and Anthony, they are off for the holidays. You got myself, Daryl Ruiter, and Coach Lance Reisland with you till 10 here on The Fan.
store.
Could changes be coming for this Browns regime? Don't miss a minute as breaking news could happen at any moment, and you'll hear it here first.
Delay of game, offense.
This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns, 92.3 The Fan.
Back with you on The Fan. It's Daryl Ruiter, Coach Lance Reisland, in for Ken and Anthony, who are enjoying the holidays. Hope you are as well, getting in that last-minute Christmas shopping or getting the presents wrapped or, clearing out from under the tree for when Santa visits later this evening and in the early morning hours, depending what route he decides to take.
Do you guys do a lot of Christmas Eve stuff?
So growing up, we were allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. So I would always pick the largest package. So my parents picked up on the bit, and they got me one year by doing a double package. So, but yeah, that's and then the Christmas mass,
right.
Christmas Eve dinner. We would do the halushki and the barbecue kielbasa and
That's what we're doing tonight. We're pierogi and kielbasa tonight.
Oh, so good.
Prime rib tomorrow.
I'm not gonna lie, I do miss those days. Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Our big thing is time, right? Everybody's busy, so we like to just hang out, and it's kind of funny. We do whole lot of nothing, right? Hang out, watch some TV, binge some TV, hang out together. So we do a lot of that. That's kind of become our Christmas Eve kind of thing where we just hang out.
It's weird. We're the host house, right? And we've been the host house for a while, and I got lucky to find a place that had a lot of space, and so now that's why we do it. Plus, I got 6 kids, man. We don't play road games at all, right? It's all, we host everything because I don't want to bring especially when they were younger, the little tornadoes coming through. And,
yep.
And I'm yelling at them like, hey, don't break this or what, got to be careful. So now they could be themselves at our house. But now that they're, the youngest one's 12 now. So we have, there's less of the Legos and all of that stuff laying around, but still they're at least home and can, teenagers kind of squirrel themselves away in their own rooms for a little bit, and we tell them to get back down. But it's fun. Everybody comes over, all the in-laws, all that tonight, and then they all leave, and then they show back up in 10, 12 hours, whatever. And then we start it again the next day, and I'm glad that they all go home and sleep in their own beds, and they aren't camped out in our house. But it is nice, Christmas Eve is pretty formal for us. Christmas Day is not. It is very much wear your most comfortable thing and enjoy your time together. The time spent together. Maybe listen to that same story that I've heard 5 or 6 times from my father-in-law, but I'm going to listen to it again. And if it was June 14th, I probably don't want to hear it, but I'll do it on Christmas Day. I'll
Absolutely.
suck it up and take one for the team on Christmas Day. It's kind of nice that way.
Absolutely.
And my favorite thing to do is I love the Christmas movie marathon for background noise. So that's, the Christmas Vacations, the Home Alones, Christmas Story, Die Hard, just playing in the background for some background noise. But yeah, it's I do miss the big family gatherings that we used to have on Christmas Eve.
I've got 2 girls in college now, and so I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, we're hitting the home stretch here for them being my children, right? Like my kids being in home, and so trying to hold on to that for a couple more years at least.
It does go fast. Mine's 13. It does. That's that is a cliche for sure. That is absolutely true.
The Browns are trendsetters, and not in a positive way if you're a taxpayer or you enjoy football outdoors. Obviously, the Brook Park project has been in the works for a couple of years now. They're already moving dirt. They're looking to do a groundbreaking here in the first quarter of next year. Not so great news came down yesterday. A Franklin County judge issued a temporary restraining order for 14 days, preventing the state of Ohio to move forward with the January 1st achievement of the $1.7 billion to go into a stadium construction fund. $600 million was going to go to the Browns. Another couple $100 million was probably going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals, and then whatever was left over would be for like the Columbus Blue Jackets and other pro teams in the state. And right now, the argument it is that you're stealing money from people by using the unclaimed funds fund to do this, even though those funds are still readily available for anyone who has unclaimed funds, even with them doing this. But so that court battle is going on. But Owen, big news for your Kansas City Chiefs, because for all the twisting and turning in the pretzels that everyone did over the Browns going 15 miles down I-71 out across from the airport, you would think that they were moving to Columbus or something, or even Canton. Your Chiefs are they're leaving the state. They're going to Kansas City, Kansas.
It's really it's to me the same way that this move for the Browns is to Brook Park. And if you're here every day and you travel, especially the interstate a lot, right? Like that's not that much different geographically. It's kind of the same deal here.
Yeah, but you're not staying in the same county. You're not staying in the same state.
Totally get it. And maybe if I was a resident there, maybe if I was a Missouri resident there, I'd be really pissed right now. Or a Kansas resident who's going to incur, the things that residents often incur once the new stadium is built. And I would actually, I don't know, can they charge a Missouri tax to people that are coming across state lines to now not only go see the Chiefs, but how Taylor Swift's going to play how many concerts there now?
Right.
She'll probably do a residency.
Well, I don't know. She'll do a residency there. First of all, Travis is going to be retired. He might be retired in like 2 weeks.
We're not talking about that right now, Daryl. Come on, move on.
It's gonna have a roof. This is the trend. It's dome and development. That's what these NFL owners want. Dome plus development. The days of, we just now need a new stadium or we need our stadium renovated. No, they want a development to go with it. And look, the Browns trying to get out in front of the curve here as well with the 2029 opening day. The Chiefs would open in 2031, right, Owen?
That's what they're saying now,
okay.
Yes.
The Tennessee Titans in Nashville are going to open their new dome in 2020. These aren't really domes. They're stadiums with roofs. That's what they are. They're not really domes.
Yeah, this is not the
a dome
carrier.
It's got a round, circular.
This is not the Superdome that had. That's your.
These
are
stadiums with roofs.
Granddaddy of all these, right?
Correct.
They're enclosed stadiums.
Yeah, they're covered. That's a good way to say it. They're covered.
It's temperature-controlled football is what we're going to get. Browns in 2029. The Washington Commanders are going to do the same thing. Roofed stadium in 2030. Chiefs, I mentioned 2031. The Bears, the Eagles, the Broncos all want to build stadiums with roofs on them, with mixed-use developments. The Bills open their new open-air stadium in 2026, but let's be honest, no one's going to Buffalo for a Final Four. So it's actually good that they did theirs the way they did it. It's great. The Jaguars are going to put a roof on their existing stadium. It'll be open air, but it's going to have a roof on it. That's going to be done by 2028. The Buccaneers and Texans are still figuring out theirs. I think the Buccaneers are opting for a renovation, but the Texans are still. Do they want a new dome, or are they going to keep the existing one that they have? But listen. This is the new business model of pro sports. They're doing the Art Modell thing, where hey, if we don't get what we want, we're going to move. The city of Oakland said no 3 times. They lost the Warriors to San Francisco. They lost the Raiders to Las Vegas, and now they've lost the A's to Sacramento. I mean Las Vegas. Eventually Las Vegas. Okay? And, now the Browns weren't holding anyone hostage here this time around. But the Chiefs kind of were. They were holding Missouri hostage. Hey, give us what we want or we're going to leave. Well, they left. Granted, it's a couple miles, across the state line there. But that's the new business model, is the billionaire owners. They want the taxpayer subsidies for these buildings and whatnot. The Chiefs deal is obscene, though. Like, It's $1.8 billion that they're going to get. There's tax incentives and breaks and everything else. The school system's getting hit where they're going to build the training facility. Like, it's good on the lawyers that negotiated that deal with the state of Kansas, but this is the trend, is domed football. The entire AFC West.
Which is a point that you brought up in the break that I never even thought about.
Yeah, the AFC West is all going to be indoor football because Los Angeles, SoFi, although it's open air but with a roof.
Right.
Vegas, and then Vegas and Denver's going to have a roof when they get theirs done. Like, this is where it's going. Like, so for the Browns fans, they're like, "Oh, the dome's going to be terrible. This is not football. We need to be in the elements." Lance, you brought up a good point about why they're doing it. It's to keep the weather elements out and the money.
Well, it was funny. I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Coach, I thought you'd be like, let's keep it outside. I'm all pro dome." 60 years ago when you played football, those guys had other jobs. Football is what they did. These are guys you're paying millions of dollars. If I'm paying my quarterback millions of dollars, I want perfect conditions. I want perfect conditions every time he's playing. And then going back to like what they're doing, these have become events. As a parent and as a husband, you take your family to the events. They want stuff to do. That's just the reality of it. So these kind of events they're creating, it's much more than the game. People like us, we go to watch the game, but there's other people that are going for the event. They're going for the food. They're going for all these things. So as a football coach, give me perfect weather. If I'm paying a quarterback $230 million, I want him to have perfect weather. We always said when I wasn't very good, I loved when it rained because it equals a playing field. I want to
slop it up a little.
Yeah, I want the best. You want the best. When I was the worst team, I loved the rain. When I was the better team, I was like, the playing field just got leveled. So I'm all about dome. I think it's great for. I think the fans will love it when it comes here, and the events and the things that'll go on around it are going to be spectacular.
Well, the days of the snow bowls and the mud bowls and all that, those are going to go away, and. They're
good memories. They can go though.
You don't want your games to be decided by
Correct.
that. You don't want your season to be decided by that. No, not going to be a problem. Coming up, hot seats are warm, but how hot are they? And whose seat is actually the one that's the hottest? We're going to tell you that next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland with you until 10, in for Ken and Anthony on the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lemmer right here on the Fan.
A good pass game is really spreading the ball around to all of our players, whether you're a receiver, a tight end, or a running back. We want to utilize all of our guys that are available to us. Then you also have to understand these defenses can do their part to try to take people away via coverage, via attention. So it's the quarterback's job. It's to get through his progressions and trust what he's seeing and go with the football where it should go appropriately, and not force the ball to anybody.
Browns are 6-26, if I've done the math correctly, since last season. That was head coach Kevin Stefanski.
So I say you know what I always say? Be 7-26. That's kind of my thought process on it. I don't ever go, I always say to people, that means nothing. Be 7-26. Hopefully they have that mentality. That will help them get out of this funk.
But here's the thing. Let's say they go, let's go like super, it's Christmas Eve. Why not? Okay. Let's go super happy and they win these final two games, right? They avoid going winless in this division for, I think it's the 5th or 6th time since the team came back. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Bengals. They finished the year with 5 wins. Does your opinion on the state of affairs really change if this happens? Like if they end the year with 5 wins versus 3, are you changing how you feel about the state of affairs?
No, but I will say this. As much as I'd like them to win, the process of how they win and lose is more important. Meaning, are they getting the stuff that they struggle with, getting lined up, getting the right teams on the field, situationally?
Well, they're going to win ugly because this is not a team that's capable of winning pretty. So they're going to win ugly. So you're not going to get what you want. You're going to win, but you're not going to get the pretty football you're looking for.
But you can have, it's once again, if you win, that you can fix those things because winning is the ultimate medicine. But more of just like, is their intent? Have they prepared for what coverages they're going to see? Have they prepared for what fronts they're going to see? Do they know who they're attacking? Do they know how they're getting touches to their key players? Those are all things you see that I look for when I watch a football game, and that kind of tells you the attention to detail during the week. Are they ready to go in the red zone? Is the team in a zone and man in the red zone, and what routes are they running? Those all things, for me, that's what I'm looking for. So it's going to be tough to win because they don't have a ton of skill and they're not going to score a ton of points.
Yeah.
But you can evaluate what these guys are doing in terms of attention to detail and how they're preparing for there should be no difference if they were undefeated right now or have 3 wins. There should be zero difference in how they prepare each week. You should be preparing to win every football game. Culture is the most overused word in the game of football. Culture is not what you say; it's what you do, and that's what's kind of hurting them. But what should they do anything different? It should be the same plan this week.
So I've already told you where I think things are leaning, where the winds are blowing in Marie. Okay, I think Kevin is more likely than not probably going to be the scapegoat. Andrew Berry's probably going to be safe. I vehemently disagree with that notion. I think either they both stay or they both go. Albert Breer was on Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin yesterday, and the question about hot seats came up. Here's what Albert had to say.
I don't know if a clean sweep is coming. It doesn't sound that way anyway. And, I think at this point, like if you're Jimmy, if you're, that the people who are in Jimmy's ear and talking to him on this stuff, you've already had some of these discussions of what this looks like after the season. And that's, I think a lot of that stuff is gonna incorporate everything that's happened thus far. I just don't know at the end of a 3-12 season what you're going to show in the last 2 weeks that's going to blow you away. They haven't given up. At the very least, this feels like it's the end of something. And, what level of change that is remains to be seen. Is that Berry stays, Stefanski goes? Is that, Berry is moved into a different sort of role as part of a restructure? I think there are a bunch of different outcomes on the table. And I don't know that Jimmy really knows what he's going to do yet.
Again, that was Albert Breer with Nick Wilson, Jonathan Peterlin on Afternoon Drive. If you missed it, you can find that on our YouTube channel, or you can hop on the website or wherever you get your podcasts and check that interview out. Great stuff as always from him. And I think that the prospect of maybe Andrew doesn't stay the GM, that they just give him a different title, but they keep him in the organization and they bring somebody in that can kind of help where I think they need help. And that's with the football talent evaluation, to bring in guys, because part of the reason they're in this spot, okay, it's not just the Deshaun trade, which, oh, by the way, Andrew Berry was driving that car. Like, let's not forget this, okay? And I said this earlier, I don't have an agenda here. I like Andrew. I like Kevin. Okay, this is no agenda. Daryl's trying to run people out of town because he doesn't like them or they don't like him. Or that's not what this is. Okay, they've been here now 6 years. They've had 2 good years. The 2 good years were challenging, but the rest has been slop. It's been unwatchable. And you are back to where you began before y'all set the house on fire and burned it down and went 1-31. And that was with a team that could win 3 or 4 games a year, that was very expensive, and that was about it. And you gutted it. Well, you don't have to do a gut job here. You got Myles Garrett, you got Denzel Ward, you got you found Carson Schwessinger, which is a really good player. Quinshon Judkins, hopefully he comes back from surgery that he had yesterday. Hopefully everything goes well with rehab. He comes back and he's the same player. You got something with Harold Fannin Jr. Like, there are building blocks here. But otherwise, this has been an unmitigated disaster and failure. And I don't want to hear the excuses about Deshaun. Okay? Major problem. Created salary cap headaches, created roster management headaches. You still don't have your quarterback. But that's the guy you wanted. Okay? And you talked ownership into going along with it, and the train got so far down the tracks that, well, you kind of had to seal the deal, and so they did. But, let's not absolve Andrew Berry here of having any responsibility for the slop that you as fans are stuck watching. Again, for the 27th season, for the 23rd season since 1999. Think about that. This is the 27th season this team has played. You've gotten 4 good seasons out of this thing. Made the playoffs 3 times, had a 10-7 season, you didn't make the playoffs. Think about that, Coach. You had 27 years this team has been back. I'm sitting here on my spreadsheet counting, how many 11-loss seasons have they had since then? Now I had to scratch that off because they lost the 12th. Guess what I'm going to do after Sunday's game if they lose to the Steelers? Well, how many 13-game seasons or 13-loss seasons have they had since 99? And there's a lot of those. That's a problem. They're comfortable with the losing because the fans are, the fans just happy they have the Browns. And, they need to raise their standards, to your point earlier about culture.
Well, and the thing is that I've had a problem with, once again, I always kind of give the benefit of the doubt to the coach, and that's biased because they haven't won, and he has his hand in it as well. There's never, the Browns struggle with feel and numbers, right? The numbers tell me I should do this. The numbers tell me I should go for 2 here instead of kicking the point, right? On the first touchdown, and then having to go for 2.
Know your personnel. You got a roster full of rookies. Why are you putting them in a position to fail?
And that's the numbers compared to the feel. So it's the same thing when you're evaluating talent. There's certain talent, right? You got to have my buddy used to call it a BCS body back when it was a BCS, right? You got to be big, you got to be fast, you got to be strong.
Oh, there's no BCS doesn't actually stand for something?
No, it's football, Division I football, right?
Okay.
So power. We'll say
so today it would be you have to have a college football playoff body.
Yeah, a Power 4 body, right?
That's a mouthful, by the way.
So we'll say a Power 4 body, right? Big size. You got to be a certain size. Those are true, but there's also football players. And that's why I like Baker Mayfield. When he came out, he was a football player. And some people...
I think Shador's a football player.
Correct. And once again, though, maybe it doesn't meet all things, but again, a football player seems to have really good feel. There's a balance there. And the Browns really struggle with feel as compared to analytics. I don't care what the numbers tell me what a defensive end could play. How many plays has that defensive made? How many plays has he made? That's where they struggle is grabbing guys who don't always make plays. Or, I thought the best thing about this year's draft, even though they've been really successful, these guys came with Dylan Sampson. These guys came with production. Right. This is the first time I felt that they went out and got guys who were big, fast, and strong, but also guys who produced. Like Isaiah Bond's been really good, but I don't know how much more you're going to get out of him. He didn't produce in college, right? So how much more are you going to get out of him? You're using his speed, but really it's been a couple vertical chunks, right? And those are kind of things that, you got to go out and you got to find football players. The numbers have to kind of guide you, but there's got to be a feel process. There's not much of a feel from play calling to who they're drafting, et cetera. It's all, this is the slot, this is what I run, this is what we're doing kind of thing based on numbers.
Following the script only works when you have the people to do it. We're going to continue that conversation next. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland in for Ken and Anthony, who have the holiday off right here on The Fan.
Keep a little.
leadership going to run the coaching search? I think Andrew would have a voice in a coaching search if there is one. So, like, I think this thing can take on different forms. And, you know, we've seen before where teams have come out of Black Monday with a general manager intact and a coach gone, and then that changes. I don't think the plan right now is to walk away from Andrew Berry, but I think, you know, what his role in this is and kind of what the structure of the organization looks like coming out of this, all that is still to be determined.
That was Albert Breer with Nick and Jonathan on Afternoon Drive here on The Fan. Again, if you missed it, you can find that on our YouTube channel, find it on our website, or wherever you get your podcast. Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland with you. Basically, we've reached the choose your own adventure portion of the calendar, where the Browns could go 150 different directions with these things. Give you an opportunity to weigh in with Coach and I. 216-474-0092. Lance, we know where I'm choosing to go here. Where are you leaning as far as what adjustments you'd make?
Well, I would start, you know, for me, I would be they have to address the special teams. That's an easy fix. Either improve the personnel that's on it or move somewhere in a different coaching direction. I think for me, it's more Andrew Berry is the issue than Kevin Stefanski. So if I'm choosing, if somebody's got to go, if a head's got to roll, it's got to be Andrew Berry for me, because I think what Kevin's working with has not been very good, especially offensively.
216-474-0092. Let's head on out to Mentor. Bert has been hanging patiently on here.
Good morning,
happy
Bert.
holidays, Bert.
Happy holidays, you guys. Daryl, it's good to talk to you on the phone. I always get a chance to tweet at you from time to time, but I have a variety of things for you here. The coaching search, because I really do think Stefanski needs to go. Andrew Berry, regardless of the job, I'm not a big fan of what he did with Watson, period. He really should be fired because of that alone. Stefanski's replacements, in my book, quickly would be Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders. Go ahead and laugh possibly if you'd like.
I'm laughing at Bill. Deion, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm just being honest with you.
Right. Roll your eyes, but instantly the connection from him being, you know, Shador's only real coach all of his life, I don't really care. I love it. You know, I think it's a direction that would just really ignite. There are so many former football players that I see that comment on Shador, so we know, their eyes, bloodlines, all that stuff really plays a part. Clay Matthews back in the day, I was so disappointed when the Browns didn't take Clay Jr., you know, that it's those little things. And going to your analytical conversation, yes, because it's a feel. Football is a feel game. It's not the numbers are nice when you can apply them to, you can fix numbers to make them look like anything that you want. But really and truly, it's the feel of the game, and that's what we lack in Cleveland. We've got such a great defense, and we're losing time every game. We're wasting Miles' all his greatness. That's why build this team around Shador. Do it. Get a couple linemen. I don't understand why we can't find linemen around the league on scouting teams. The scouting program the Browns have is horrible as far as what they put on the field. They've had talent. Stefanski's had plenty of time to show his coaching ability. The problem is he gets out-coached every single time that I watch him coach. He's not a visible kind of guy. I want a guy that's got energy, pure energy. Bill Belichick is not a bad idea because that guy knows how to win. And bring him back to the NFL. Bring him back to Cleveland where he has unfinished business.
Well, and thanks for the call, Bert. Happy holidays. I don't know that he's got unfinished business here. In fact, he pretty much wants to troll the Browns at any given moment that he can. But and also, I kind of feel like the game has passed him by.
Yeah, a little bit. The connection between what you're getting out of these young kids now, it's a tough go for the older coaches. My thing, appreciate the call. When people say people are out coached, it always makes me think why do people think people are out coached? When you say, is it wins and losses? Is it schematically? I'm always wondering when things lose and people say they get out coached. I've never really understood that.
It's because they lost.
Correct. And maybe that's it, but
if you lose, you've been outcoached. If you win, you did the outcoaching,
and
right?
I'm good with that.
Welcome to me. This is how it works in the media.
That I'm okay with. But the idea that schematically he's it comes down to players. That's why I'm more on the. Even though I'm with you, I really do feel it's both or none. But that's why I'm more on the Barry side. Kevin Stefanski.
You feel the personnel is the problem more so than the coaching.
I do, absolutely. And I feel when Kevin gets the guys he needs, he's had success. Now, that doesn't – it all rolls on him and they're losing. And it comes down, like you said, they're losing. So, but I think that for me, this is more on Andrew Barry than it is on Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that Kevin should be fired. I'm not running Kevin out of town. I'm just – my gut, this is how I feel that this is going to play out. I'm not trying to run anybody out of town, but also I can't sit here with any semblance of credibility and sell fans on maintaining the status quo or defending Kevin. He's been here 6 years.
It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell.
I understand the 13 quarterback thing, but what quarterback has come in here and has Kevin Stefanski been able to elevate the game, right? What scheme has he which one of these guys has he built the scheme around to do what they do best, right? So, and I understand that's hard to do, especially midstream when you're using 3 and 4 quarterbacks, and in one case, 5 quarterbacks in a single season. Listen, I understand the difficulties of the situation. I get that. But that's what you're paid millions of dollars to figure out and to do. The clock management in London with the Minnesota game was a disaster. That's a game you should have won. You mismanaged that.
That's not controlling the controllables. You're absolutely right.
You have you've had 2 straight years where you've kind of tossed your hands up and said, yeah, you know what? I don't want Ken Dorsey here, so guess what? This season's gone down the tubes. He can just handle the play calling. Same thing this year. Well, I got rookie quarterbacks I'm dealing with. Not much I'm going to... Tommy Reese, come on down. You can go, hey, I kind of feel like there was a little of that happened.
But don't you think all those excuses are a need for a change of scenery for...
Yeah,
the coach. I mean, the coaching position is the easiest one to change, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been done here so often. But
it hasn't been done often with. I understand.
Seasons, right? I get it. I get it. And I
understand. Short shelf life too. Sometimes the message just doesn't get through.
Right.
That's part of it too. Yeah. That's part of my You're not. He didn't get dumb, but for whatever reason,
sometimes you do need to make change for the sake of making change. Like I said, I'm not trying to run anybody out of town, but there's a case to be made that. To keep it, which, by the way, fans don't want to hear because of the results being what they are. And then there is a case, yeah, man, you got to blow this thing up. You got to send these guys packing and bring some fresh eyes and ears in on this thing and you hit the reset button. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that as well. And again, I can't sit here and sell fans on keeping Kevin Stefanski.
Well, I like the idea of it doesn't have to be blame. It has to be, this ain't working. Right? You don't have to diminish somebody's what they're doing. You don't have to, it's their livelihood. But right now it's not working. So if they were to say we're getting rid of Kevin, we're getting rid of Andrew Barry, it's not working. The style that's honest. That's real. That's
by the way,
numbers.
Both of these gentlemen be perfectly fine. Browns have an outstanding severance package from what I hear. Let's head to Westlake. Eddie, you're next up on the Fan. Happy holidays, Eddie.
Hey, happy holidays, guys. Hey, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this Andrew Barry versus Kevin Stefanski situation. I know they want to put that, Deshaun Watson on him. But, at the time, if we go back to that time, 10 times out of 10, GMs are going to make that. They're going to make that deal. And it didn't work out. It's just like if we traded for Josh Allen and all of a sudden he came here and he was hurt every year. We're going to do it 10 times out of 10. It didn't work out. This is all I really do know is I know that out of these 6 years that they've been together, 3 of these 6 years preseason, they said the Browns had a top 5 roster. So we want to put this on Andrew Barry, but Andrew Barry can't get the players and coach them too. So if you got in the 4th year, it was probably the upper half of the league. So if you're putting a roster together, it was probably just this year, maybe one other year that the roster was just kind of depleted. And I know
that's the last 2 years.
Okay, but the reality of it is the draft in and of itself is it's a 50-50 proposition. No matter if you Andrew Barry or Howie Grossman, but you can't just look at the draft. You got to look at the trade. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm looking at this, and
Jerry
I'm saying
Jeudy
to
trade was
myself,
pretty lousy, and they gave him a contract extension too.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, if other people outside of Cleveland, get yourself out of Cleveland, are saying you have a top 5 roster, 3 out of 6 years you're here, that's telling me you're supposed to win. And one of those top 5 rosters was the year we went 3-14. That's telling me.
But other people outside of Cleveland are telling you that Kevin Stefanski would be a coach anywhere else, and there are going to be people lined up at the door to take him too.
Well, yeah, there's going to be people lined up at the door for Kevin Stefanski to be an offensive coordinator. Absolutely, 100%. Head coach, not so much. You guys think that, but we'll see. But offensive coordinator.
That's not you guys. That's people outside of Cleveland saying that, right?
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
I agree with you, by the way, Eddie. It's just. That's what the perception is, and that's what the reports come back all the time, is that we are blowing it. Cleveland is blowing it with Kevin, that Kevin's going to be this great thing out of here, and he's going to be able to lead another franchise. I agree with you on that point, but if we're using that everybody outside of Cleveland method, that
and by the way,
those are both true statements right now.
But by the way, not many were saying the Browns had a top 5 roster for more than 2 of the years that Andrew Berry was here. And, oh, by the way, those were rosters he inherited from John Dorsey. Here, let's go to Chuck in Middleburg. You're next up on the Fan. Happy holidays, Chuck.
How we doing? Happy holidays to you guys, too.
Morning, Chuck.
It's just one thing I want to say against Stefanski. Stefanski is a pretty decent coach, but what happens, we lose too many games because of his situational coaching. Situational coaching is very important. Of course, somebody says the talent that's on the field, but football is like chess. We got to put these guys in position. And when the game is on the line, how many countless times have we blown it with bonehead plays, not even simplistic plays, the triple reverse was crazy. Okay,
Someone called it.
We throw Njoku screen passes when its acceleration is terrible. So we have guys, but we don't play to our guys' strengths. I mean, how many times do we see regular guys, and Tom Brady did this with the guys he had, and there were no names. I mean, what happened to him after playing with great coaches that put guys in position? You know what I mean? So I just think that's where he called it.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Well, I'm actually, I did this 2 weeks ago, and the idea of not getting the 2-point play that everyone has bashed, I'm actually going to not go on that boat, and here's why. I thought they did a nice job of, the wrong part was Fannin and Sanders were hot. That's the feel part. The numbers part said, we have done Wildcat for 3 weeks in a row. We've had tremendous success. On Monday, when your red zone and 2-point plays go in, that's what the numbers tell you. When we get in the red zone, when we get a 2-point play, this is what we've done. This is what the other team...
Except for they didn't guess maybe the Titans actually watched film.
Well, I'm saying, though, but they did watch film. That's what they're counting on with the numbers. Right. They're saying, we're going to run... Now, I didn't like the call because they took it out of the hot guy's hand, but that's when we talk about the feel versus numbers. Yeah. That's what that means. We're going to go... The numbers say, we've done this well. What are we going to do off this? I didn't like the call, but I will defend the call in terms of they at least did their homework. I don't know if it was right, but that's what the thought process is on that.
Yeah, it's great they did their homework.
Once again, I have and when I'm on the mountain alone on that one, I will be on the mountain alone. But the call taking out of Sanders and Fannin's hands, that's the feel part that the numbers in football don't let you do. You're going to stick with what you planned from Monday. That's what happened.
Let's squeeze Tom in Middlefield in here. Tom, you're next up on the Fan. Happy holidays.
Yeah, howdy, guys. I'm trying to think a little outside the box, and for whatever reason, this great idea to me anyway.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I don't know that Jason Kelsey wants to give up the podcast for that.
Well, I don't disagree. They're talking him into it is a whole nother story. But
he can make more money doing one podcast a week than he can.
What?
But I mean, how do we know he
can do anything other than podcast? Tom, what are you? Yeah, here I got something. Oh my God in heaven! Sweet music. Don't get me wrong. I love Jason Kelsey, the entertainer, and even the NFL center, one of the best to ever do it. One of the most entertaining personalities right now in the sports media landscape.
Means absolutely nothing.
One of the furthest away that I would ever think of as a head coach now.
Who was the Colts interim coach was doing studio?
Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday.
Yep.
Well, at least he was a former player, but yeah, I mean.
So when you bring up that, are you thinking outside the box, or are you just retreading something that clearly didn't work?
Well, here's the other thing, too. I mean, look, the press conferences would be epic.
Yeah, that's great. I had Freddie Kitchens. One of the greatest press conferences ever. I love Freddie the person. Not big on Freddie the head football coach.
I remember.
The person, great.
Oh, man.
Freddie, let's bring back the triple option as the OC. That was kind of cool, too. Freddie the head coach, that's a hard pass for me.
The various shades of red that he used to turn during press conferences was a sight to behold. I'm not going to, I don't know if that's talent. I don't know if that's caffeine or something else, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm not really interested in being entertained in a press conference.
Well,
if I'm being honest with you.
When I started going down to practice, one of the things I've always said is I think they need to be more physical. And they were like, you should have been here when Freddie was here. They came out in pads every day and just hit for 3 hours. There was no football. Everybody just hit. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to go that far, but it's like they said that's what you wanted. That's all Freddie did.
You know who ran the best practices? Eric Mangini.
I believe it.
Those boys
were back. He's still on the east side. Bring him back.
Those boys are tired when they were done with him. You jump off sides, you false start, you don't line up right, you're running laps. And they went from in 2 years, they went from the most penalized team to the least penalized team. That was the good news. The bad news is they still couldn't win more than 3 or 4 games this season. 216-474-0092. It's almost time to wrap this one up, put a bow on it. It's Daryl Ruiter, Lance Reisland in for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on Christmas Eve on The Fan.
Sports Machine Sean Levine here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's time for you to share a bite like a pro.
No. Get your own at factormeals.com. Factor, eat like a pro.
2020 Sports by Scheiben Jewelers. Visit Scheiben Jewelers for holiday gifts, Swiss watch bands, world-leading jewelry designers, and Scheiben Jewelers handcrafted pieces. Shop Scheiben Jewelers in Strongsville or ScheibenJewelers.com.
In your weeknight with the best segments of the day. The Fan Rewind. Weeknights at 11.
Time to put a bow on this one and get on out of here, wrap some presents, drink some eggnog, watch some Christmas movies.
What's your thoughts on eggnog? You guys eggnog people?
I buy the little carton.
Okay.
Every year I buy one. I take like one pull off of it. And
That's
I'm like,
it.
all right.
That's not it. I don't do eggnog.
Yeah,
I'm not you?
Not a destination for me
All
during
right.
the holidays.
It's more a nostalgia thing.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's there, I'll
one
have
pull
some.
and done. One pull, you did your deed. I gotcha.
If it's there, I'll have some. If it's not there, I'm not missing it one iota. So
same thing with I'm not a huge Christmas ale guy, but
it's there.
I'll have a couple Christmas ales in the next few days, and then
that's it.
No, I did it.
Yeah, you were there.
I'm gone. I'm not putting the stuff on the rim,
and
but I did it.
You'll feel it. By the way, I went to get hot chocolate the other day because it's hot chocolate season for me, and now I just wanted some hot chocolate with marshmallows. Now they're coming with little cookies or donuts or something, and to do the rim on the glass with the spray. I'm like, I don't need all. I just want hot cocoa with some mini marshmallows.
The Swiss lady's doing that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I spent 5 minutes thinking my eyes are deceiving me because that's all I wanted. I wanted a packet, 1 pack hot cocoa, 1 pack mini marshmallows. That's it. I didn't need the sprinkles. I didn't need the donut or the garnish or the what. I don't need any of that.
Just give me some cocoa, some little marshmallows.
Yeah,
the little ones too.
And
I want the little ones.
And what I do just to give it a little extra, a little dab of milk in there, and yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Bailey's.
Well, it depends on what kind of day I had in Berea, which I'm
so lots of Baileys then.
Listen, as soon as the show wraps up, we'll be headed to Berea. I'm probably going to meet the new offensive lineman that they just signed, Kendrick Green. By the way, not really breaking news, but just thought we'd mention it. Kendrick Green signed off the Buffalo Bills practice squad. To come in here, he's going to have the roster spot vacated by Quinshon Judkins, who went to IR. So some offensive line help, maybe.
Well, schematically, it makes sense in terms of the schemes that the Browns are running right now, similar to what the Bills run. So, that would help in terms of maybe shortening the curve.
By the way, so I am gonna do the Christmas movie marathon, as I always do. Home Alone, love Home Alone 1 and 2. I got to ask you guys, I'm going to put you on the spot here. And Owen, I realize that my selection, you have to work with this person. So I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot, but I'm going to put you in a bad spot. Who here that works at this station, who is a parent, so I'm out because I'm not a parent, would leave their kids at home accidentally for a holiday?
Oh, accidentally.
Yeah.
Okay. Home Alone style.
Who would do the
Home
Home
Alone leave their
thing?
families in an instant? I think everyone knows that answer. His name's Anthony Lima, and
100%.
Everyone that's ever listened to the station knows that. But accidentally, I do think that changes things.
Okay.
I would actually. It would either be me.
I do respect the cell phone there.
Or Andy Baskin, and I think it's because of the amount of stuff that is happening in the day for him.
I was gonna say Baskin too, because every day, and I've done podcasts with him, I've hosted with him. I've known Andy for almost 25 years. And this man, he is the busiest. He's the busiest man I've ever known.
That's my reasoning too. It's not because he's a bad parent.
Yeah.
It's
I'm like, man, you've been doing a lot of eggnog. Come on, man.
You're in a flurry every time I see you, and I figure you've got to be on an ice rink somewhere in the next 20 minutes, right?
No, I have 40 minutes for that. Okay. I think I'm going to pop out after the second segment. No, I'm good. I got a couple days off from hockey.
Okay.
I love your jersey, though. I hope anybody who's watching on YouTube can see that.
Is this not fabulous?
He is a Clark Griswold jersey 00.
It's a great jersey.
That is awesome. I will tell you, that is fantastic.
The Wally World Moose on the front. He's with the Santa hat.
You have some of the best Bachelor stuff in the history of Bachelor.
It's great.
Like his bobblehead collection is
very
outstanding.
Bachelor, yes, very Bachelor. Absolutely.
I picked up a few Christmas presents on eBay for myself. I did not have to ask anyone if I was allowed to buy them. I just did it.
Man, that's good. That is awesome. Anyway, happy holidays to you guys. We're coming up next, but I would not ever leave my kids at home alone. Never, dude. I never, ever.
Not even accidentally.
Not even accident. Well, maybe one. No. I would never accidentally. But man, as soon as you ask the question, I'm sitting back in the newsroom. I'm like, Lima? That's the easiest answer in the history of the station.
No, Andy, have you ever left them at a hockey rink on accident, like thinking like, oh, they're with your wife or something? They went home a different way.
Odds are they would leave me at the rink before I would leave them. That's the beauty.
I had one on Sunday. We go to North Olmsted for wrestling on Sunday, every other Sunday, right? So we're there. My wife was there. We take different vehicles because I go super early for weigh-ins and all that, and she'll show up right before our kid's about to compete. So I definitely had my stuff packed up, ready to go. I watched my wife walk out of the door, and I assumed the kids were with her. And then as I'm like walking out, I look over, and there's Toby. I'm like, oh, looks just like my kid. Oh, it's because it is. Okay.
You know what?
Almost left him.
I will admit that because of where I'm at in life, in my forgetful nature that I unfortunately seem to be having lately, if God forbid I ever had kids, I'd probably be the idiot to forget my kid. I have to
tell them that's not true.
No, it wouldn't be. No, it's absolutely not.
Dude, there's a little mechanism in your brain that you're connected to your kids, whether you believe it or not.
The connection's there. You can't do anything about it. Whether you want to or not, you can't do anything about it.
Listen, I'm telling you, the mechanism in the brain isn't working the way it used to. I mean, it's pretty bad. I'm sitting in front of my TV looking for the remote, and the darn thing's in my hand. That's the stage of life that I'm at.
Well, I'll tell you, Daryl, when you have kids, it's like it's part of your like routine, like you're saying, like your job. It just becomes like part of what you do. So
it's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah, it is.
So and you have bad breath, so you're in bad shape.
Wow!
I'm just kidding. All right, happy holidays, guys. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Reckless speculation.
And you know what? Now I don't feel bad saying that I think Andy Baskin's the guy that's going to forget about his kids at home. Now I don't feel bad about it. For a split second, because I've known Andy for a quarter century and I love him dearly. He's like family to me.
I can't believe that he doesn't think he would be the guy.
I know. I mean, every time we do a podcast or whatever, like he's
safe when he goes home, though.
He's got
he's safe when he goes home.
He's got 150 things going on. God love him.
My wife would vote me too. Probably.
Would she?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, it's been a fun 4 hours. Coach, thanks for coming in on
awesome, guys.
Holiday.
Appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas.
Shout out Mackenzie Flume on the 2020s. Owen, thank you for coming in to...
it's the last time. You won't see me again this year.
To host whatever this ended up being this morning.
Fun. It ended up being fun.
Hopefully we didn't run the car into the ditch. We probably did, but that's okay. Andy Baskin is in for Baskin and Phelps, along with Dan Medigan. No Phelps, but Medigan is in. I'll catch you guys on YouTube. I got Brownie Bites later today. I got to hop on with whoever's hosting afternoons, do a segment there. But it's been fun. We're done. Happy holidays to you and yours. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
Hey, sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Loser town, loser fans, and you guys are a loser show.
I'm Jody Mack with an Odyssey Sports Minute. This year's NFL Pro Bowl rosters were named yesterday. Highlight being a 7-on-7 flag football game to go along with some skills competitions. Flag football will be played in a 4,000-seat ballroom in the Moscone Center in San Francisco.